Live on a Friday night, it's Utah Grizzlies hockey, as tonight's a regular season opener as the Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out at the Grizz Cave at Maverick Center as Utah Grizzlies are 2 time zones away to face the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the first of 4 regular season meetings between the clubs. Utah continues their road trip this weekend on Saturday and Sunday as they take on the Atlanta Gladiators. And then next Friday, Grizzlies conclude the road trip with a battle against the arch rival Idaho Steelheads. Well, it's the first time the Grizzlies have had a regular season game since April 12th, where they got a 6-3 victory in Rapid City. And even though last season was not exactly what the Grizzlies wanted in the win-loss column, there were certainly a lot of positives. Attendance was right where it normally is most seasons. And so Grizzlies fans showed up, and as one smart person will tell you, Utah shows up, and they certainly showed up for the Grizzlies last season. Once again, for the second straight year, the Grizzlies won multiple league awards at the league meeting, as Flocka Solano was named the Sales Rookie of the Year, and the Grizzlies also won the award for Specialty Jersey of the Year, and that was on fishing night as the Grizzlies hooked the Steelheads 6-5 on an overtime game winner by Derek Dashke. Since then, unfortunately, there's been a lot of changes, and there's been a little bit of everything that's involved the Grizzlies over the last 6 months. Nothing worse than what happened on May 11th when the Grizzlies president and CEO, he was also general manager of the Maverick Center, and Kevin Bruder was the chairman of the ECHL board of directors, and he passed away unexpectedly at the age of 56 while enjoying the great Utah outdoors. And he certainly leaves a big legacy. He's been around about as long as the franchise has been around, and Kevin Bruder was an unbelievable leader, a very calming influence, and he certainly leaves a legacy of leadership, generosity, and service, and leaves a community that is definitely stronger and better for him being in it, and he has definitely been missed over the last 5 months, and based on what's happened to us over the last, I'd say, 4 months or so, we miss him more than ever. We will be remembering and honoring Kevin Bruder all season long. In fact, the game pucks that the Grizzlies will have for home games will have his name on them. There's going to be a helmet sticker the Grizzlies will have with his initials KB, and we will honor Kevin Bruder for every Utah Grizzlies broadcast for this upcoming season. Sometime in the month of June, it was said that the Utah Grizzlies ownership group was looking for a sale of the team, and on September 9th, the Utah Grizzlies were sold to an ownership group who will relocate the Grizzlies to Trenton, New Jersey at the conclusion of the 2025-26 season. So with that in mind, this season, we're just going to have a ton of fun as we got 72 regular season games. That's what gets guaranteed. Grizzlies are hoping to make a playoff run. It is a tough Mountain Division, but the Grizzlies do have a pretty strong roster. They have a new coaching staff that we'll get to later on in the pregame report. And so we're going to have a ton of fun, and we're going to continue to do what we love for the next 6 months. And, for people like me, I mean, this is not some fun little hobby. I want to find a way to get to the National Hockey League or the American Hockey League. And over the next 72 games, I'm going to provide an NHL level broadcast. And hopefully come the end of April or May or whenever this season ends, hopefully I'll be able to proudly say that I have a great opportunity lined up so I can continue to do what I love. And I know the same goes for just about everybody in the Grizzlies office, because we certainly love what we do. And hopefully once this season is over, we can continue to do what we love to do. That's the unfortunate reality of this situation, is that come April, come May, and I think the Grizzlies are hoping come June with the title run, it's going to be over, and we're all going to be hoping that somebody will pick us up and give us an opportunity so that we can continue to pursue our dreams, or in some cases, if it's the National Hockey League, achieve our dreams. And so that's really the backdrop to this season, but the word of the year is going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. The Grizzlies look like they've got put together a pretty good roster, and we're going to enjoy ourselves, and we're just going to continue to add on to the memories, as after all, Grizzlies fans have had so many memories over the last 30 years. This is the 31st season of Utah Grizzlies hockey, 32nd year overall. As remember, the franchise began as the Denver Grizzlies back in the 1994-95 season, where they averaged over 12,000 fans per game and they won a championship. Then the Grizzlies moved to the Salt Lake Valley in the summer of 1995, where they won a championship as they won the Turner Cup with Butch Goring leading the way. So for the Grizzlies, they're looking for a bounce-back effort for the upcoming campaign. There's quite a few new players to the club this season. There's also a new coaching staff as John Buchanan is the new head coach, and he's the 9th head coach in Utah Grizzlies history. He makes his professional head coaching debut tonight. He previously coached in the WHL and a few other junior leagues. Ryan Anderson's the new traveling assistant coach. This is his second year in this league. He was with Reading as an assistant coach last year. Jack Skilly is an assistant coach and director of skill development. And Garrett Metcalf has been working with the goaltenders all training camp long. Well, we're going to have a ton of fun here tonight. I'm in the Grizz Cave, and hopefully the Greenville video crew will do its job so I can do mine, and we'll have some hockey here this evening. Certainly looking forward to it. Face-offs in about 15 minutes from now as the Grizzlies are at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. Welcome to the party. We're going to have a ton of fun this season as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. And when we come back, we will go over the roster for the Grizzlies for this 2025-2026 final hunt. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 13 minutes from now as the Grizzlies are over at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. On Flow Sports, there's the voice of the Swamp Rabbits, Mark Benetti, as he's talking with new Greenville head coach Chad Costello. He's a future Hall of Famer in this league. Costello was an outstanding player for over a decade in the ECHL. He spent the last year, he was an assistant coach with Rapid City. Before that, spent 2 seasons as head coach of the Allen Americans, where the Americans reached the postseason in both years. He was running the ship. Well, it's about half and half for the Grizzlies in terms of returning players and new players. And for the Grizzlies, there will be 10 players in the lineup tonight who are making their Grizzlies debut. Neil Shea's back for another season. He had 19 goals and 20 assists in 36 games last year, and he scored some huge goals for the Grizzlies. In back-to-back Saturdays in the month of February, Shea scored overtime game winners. Reed Lepster led the Grizzlies in scoring after February 1st as he had 30 points in 32 games, 19 goals, and 19 assists. Mick Messner, once again, will be wearing the captain C for the Grizzlies this year. He led all Utah forwards with 194 shots on goal, and he has currently played in 150 consecutive games with Utah, and tonight will be game number 151. Luke Manning really made a strong impression in the final month of last season. In fact, in the last 8 games, Manning had 11 points, 7 goals, and 4 assists, and he had a 2-goal performance in the regular season finale on April 12th against Rapid City. Griffin Ness had 3 goals and 7 assists in 14 games with Utah late last season as he was acquired in a trade for Cole Gallant, who went to the Toledo Walleye. Adam Berg is back for his 3rd season with the Grizzlies. He's not in the lineup tonight, but Berg is going to make a big impact as he did in each of his last 2 years. Evan Friesen is back for his first full pro campaign. He led the WHL's Wenatchee Wild with 32 goals and 61 points last season. Among the returning defensemen, or at least defensemen that have previous Grizzlies experience, Garrett Pike spent last season kind of split time between the Colorado Eagles of the AHL and the Grizzlies of this league. In 19 games with Utah last season, Pike had 2 goals and 11 assists. Luke Lemaster is not in the lineup tonight, but he is celebrating a birthday this evening. Happy birthday, Luke Lemaster, as he made a strong impression in the final month of last year, and he earned a roster spot. He'll be wearing number 25 for the Grizzlies this year. Luke Salem played in 2 games with the Grizzlies at the end of the 2023-24 season. Last year, he split time with Indy and Kalamazoo, and Luke Salem's in his 2nd full season as a pro. Among the new Grizzlies, we're looking forward to seeing Tyler Gratton. He's going to be a forward for Utah, and he led the Reading Royals with 20 goals last season, and he reunites with Ryan Anderson. Anderson was an assistant coach with Reading last year, and that's where Gratton played. This is Gratton's second full season as a pro. He was captain at Arizona State University during the 2023-24 season. Ty Voigt kind of has traits that remind me a little bit of Trey Bradley from a few years ago. Voigt scored 8 goals and 29 assists with Cincinnati last year. He's a former fifth-round pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2021. John Gillott makes his pro debut. He spent the last 4 seasons at Holy Cross University. Danny Geniev, remember him from last week. If you saw the preseason games, he was probably Idaho's best forward. Interestingly enough, the Grizzlies acquired him in a trade with the Idaho Steelheads. Geniev makes his pro debut tonight. He played at Penn State University the last 4 years, where he had 34 goals and 59 assists in 146 games. I'm really looking forward to seeing Jack Ricketts in a Grizzlies uniform, as this will be his pro debut. He had 20 goals in 38 games with Quinnipiac College last season, and he had an outstanding college career. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing him. Rylan Kovacevic is going to be a scratch tonight, but he was an outstanding WHL performer. He will be a first-year pro. Maxim Barbashev spent last season with Hartford and the Bloomington Bison. He will be a scratch tonight, but Barbashev should make a strong impact. He's got an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. When we come back, we'll go over the new defenseman on the other side. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
For the Grizzlies, they've got quite a few new defensemen tonight. Unfortunately, it looks like Aiden Hansen-Bukata is out of the lineup, and he's going to be a strong influence on the Grizzlies this season. He led Ohio State University with 29 assists last year. I'm really looking forward to seeing Noah Gansky make his Grizzlies debut. He was a plus 33 combined over the last 2 years with the Fort Wayne Comets. Last season, he was on a line with former Grizzly Kyle Mayhew. Mayhew won the league's Defenseman of the Year award, and Gansky was certainly a big part of that, as they made a terrific defensive pairing, and Gansky will be wearing number 21 for John Buchanan's crew tonight. Christian Felton split last season with the Abbotsford Canucks of the AHL and the ECHL's Kalamazoo Wings. Felton's an outstanding skater, and this will be a lot of fun. He's still considered to be a rookie. I think he appeared in 20 games combined last season, and it wouldn't surprise me if towards the end of the year he's going to be a candidate for the league all-rookie team. Avery Winslow had 67 games of experience with Orlando and Greenville, 62 of those with the Solar Bears. And Colby Enns is in his first full season as a pro. He had a very successful college career at Northern Michigan University and Marymount College. We'll go over the goaltenders here on the other side as we're back in 1 minute. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-offs in about 7 minutes from now. Over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena, I'm hanging out at the Grizz Cave near the Grizzlies team store at Maverick Center. Well, the Grizzlies have a college legend starting in net tonight, and that's Dryden McKay. He holds the NCAA record for career shutouts with 34, as he played at Minnesota State Mankato, and he became only the third goaltender in NCAA history to win the Hobie Baker Award, and that came in 2022. He is the all-time leader in wins in NCAA history with 113, and he's looking for a little bit of revenge tonight as he's facing his former team. He used to play with the Swamp Rabbits, and that came last season, where I believe he played in 35 games with the Swamp Rabbits, and then he also spent some time with Bloomington and also had a stint in the AHL with the Ontario Reign. As McKay is 6 feet and 175 pounds. A couple years ago, he was solid with the Newfoundland Growlers, where he appeared in 55 games and had a .897 save percentage and a 3.33 goals against average. Last year in 35 games with Greenville, he went 12-17-5 with a 9.10 save percentage and 2.93 goals against average. Backup goaltender tonight is Dylan Wells, who will be wearing number 32. The Grizzlies are the fifth ECHL team that Wells has appeared in games for. When he appears in a game for the first time this season, he's also appeared in 5 American Hockey League teams, and he's actually got a winning record in the American Hockey League. And for Dylan Wells, this will be his 8th full season as a pro and 9th year overall. So it's going to be fun, and the Grizzlies feel like they've got a pretty good 1-2 combination in net with Dryden McKay and Dylan Wells. Wells is one of 3 Grizzlies to have an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. The others are Maxim Barbashev, who's a scratch tonight, and the other one is Jack Ricketts, who's also got an AHL contract with Tucson. There are 4 players on the Grizzlies roster who have an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles. Evan Friesen, along with Garrett Pike, Rylan Kovacevic, and Neil Shea. So 7 players with AHL contracts on the current Grizzlies roster. Well, we're going to have a ton of fun this evening as the Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Both clubs are looking for bounce-back efforts this season. Grizzlies last year went 25-39, 6-2, while the Swamp Rabbits went 27-37, 6-2. So both teams are looking for bounce-back efforts this season, and it's going to be a ton of fun. Looks like a pretty good crowd is settling into Bon Secure's Wellness Arena as the Grizzlies face the Swamp Rabbits 4 times this season. Obviously tonight, Grizzlies are in Greenville, and then the Swamp Rabbits come to Maverick Center for a 3-game series. That's going to be on January 28th, 30th, and 31st. Not a whole lot of familiar names on the Greenville roster, but they do have one forward who was one of Utah's best players last season. That's the maestro, Keaton Mastrodonato, who's got an AHL contract with the Ontario Reign. And Mastrodonato is going to be a ton of fun to watch this season. He'll be wearing number 8 for the Swamp Rabbits, and Grizzlies are probably rooting for him the rest of the season, but maybe not tonight. Mastrodonato is an outstanding guy in 53 games with the Grizzlies last year. He had 19 goals and 30 assists. He will be lined up with Ryan O'Reilly and Tate Singleton. That's the top forward line for the Swamp Rabbits this evening. When we come back, hopefully we'll have the starting lineups, and we'll hopefully face off over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. This has been the Utah Grizzlies pregame report on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Getting close now as the Grizzlies begin their final hunt for a Kelly Cup. It's a great night for 2 points as they're on the line this evening. I'm Tyson Whiting. The Grizzlies are over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena to take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits for the first of 4 meetings this year. And for the Grizzlies, it's the opener of a 4-game road trip. Let's go over the lineups for both teams. We don't have the starters, unfortunately, but we do have the lines as we believe they're going to be lined up this evening. First for the visiting Grizzlies, who are led by first-year head coach John Buchanan, who's making his professional head coaching debut. The assistant coach is Ryan Anderson. Jack Skilley is an assistant coach and director of skill development. The Garrett Metcalf's been working with the goaltenders. Equipment manager is DJ McFarland, and the athletic trainer is Brooke Timoney. Looks like they're going to introduce the Swamp Rabbits one by one. And so with that, it looks like the start of the game has a big question mark. Who knows when we're going to get started with the face-off, but that does give us some time to go over the lineups for both teams as they go through the Swamp Rabbits one by one. First forward line for the Grizzlies from left to right will be Tyler Gratton, along with Mick Messner and Reed Lepster. Messner is going to be the Grizzlies captain for the second straight year. Lepster led the Grizzlies in points after February 1st, and Tyler Gratton led Reading with 20 goals last season. The second forward line from left to right is three speedy players, Neil Shea, along with Luke Manning and Ty Voigt. They were probably Utah's best forward line in the two preseason games last week against the Idaho Steelheads. Third forward line from left to right is Jack Ricketts, along with Danny Geniev and Griffin Ness. Geniev was acquired in a trade with Idaho earlier this week. John Gillott's making his pro debut. He's a Holy Cross product, and he'll be lined up with Evan Friesen. The Grizzlies are going with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. They're going with 17 skaters and 2 goalies. As Friesen makes his season debut, he led the Grizzlies, he led the Wenatchee Wild in the WHL with 32 goals last year. Forward scratches for the Grizzlies tonight include Rylan Kovacevic, along with Adam Berg and Maxim Barbashev. So that's the 3 forward scratches for the Grizzlies tonight. Utah will line up with 6 defensemen this evening. Garrett Pike is on the first defensive pairing with Christian Felton. Felton had an NHL contract with Vancouver last season. Second defensive pairing is Luke Salem and Noah Gansky. Salem's sporting a sweet-looking mustache, and Gansky is making his Grizzlies debut. He spent the last 2.5 years with the Fort Wayne Comets. Avery Winslow and Colby Enns are the third defensive pairing. Winslow spent 31 games with Orlando last year. He spent exactly 31 games with Orlando the year before that. And Colby Enns makes his Grizzlies debut, as Enns will be wearing number 5 for the Grizzlies. If I remember right, he got in one game with the Iowa Heartlanders towards the end of last season. Starting goaltenders, the college legend Dryden McKay, who's actually named after the legendary Ken Dryden, who unfortunately passed away just recently. Dylan Wells is the backup goaltender. As one by one, they introduce the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, and that introduction continues. We mentioned it before, but the first forward line from left to right is Tate Singleton, Ryan O'Reilly, and Keaton Mastrodonado, the former Grizzly. Second forward line from left to right is Brent Peterson, along with former Cincinnati Cyclone Patrick Polino and former Indy Fuel forward Cam Hausinger, whose brother Christian Hausinger played with the Grizzlies late last season. The third forward line is Kenta Isogai, wearing number 86 out of Nagano, Japan. Hudson Shandor is a rookie, first-year pro out of North Vancouver, British Columbia. And the former Norfolk Admiral, Stepan Timofeyev. That's the third forward line for the Swamp Rabbits. Fourth forward line from left to right is Ryan O'Hara, along with Jack Brackett and Austin Saint. That's the 12 forwards for the Swamp Rabbits. First defensive pairing is Josh Atkinson, number 59, and he's paired up with Tristan DeYoung. The second defensive pairing is Jake Murray. It was a standout with Bloomington last year, and he's going to be paired up with Tim Lovell, Lovell, out of Hingham, Massachusetts. He's 5'10", 175 pounds. And the third defensive pairing is Big Jacob Modry, who's 6'6" and 215 pounds, and he's lined up next to Jordan Power, who's a first-year pro out of Ottawa. Power is going to be wearing number 13. Starter in net is Matthias Scholl, who's got an AHL contract with the Ontario Reign. Last year, Scholl played at Bemidji State University, so he's a first-year pro. He did get his feet wet in pro hockey late last season with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. So with the opening night ceremonies, looks like face-off will be a little bit late this evening. It was supposed to be about 3 minutes ago at 7:05 in the Eastern Time Zone. We thank everybody who's tuned into Grizzlies broadcasts over the years, and we certainly hope that you will join us for all 72 games, or as many as you can, over the course of the season. When we come back, we'll have face-off on the other side. You've been tuned into the pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
It's a great night for hockey as the Grizzlies take on the Swamp Rabbits in the regular season opener. As Mick Messner and Josh Atkinson, there is no captain for Greenville. They just have 3 players with A's on their sweater. Messner acting as the Grizzlies captain. They take the ceremonial puck drop. Starting lineups for the Grizzlies, Garrett Pike. It's going to be paired up with Christian Felton. That's the 2 defensemen. 3 starting forwards for the Grizz are Mick Messner, Reed Lebster, and Tyler Gratton with Dryden McKay in net. And for the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, they're going with their top forward line of Singleton, O'Reilly, and the former Grizzly Keaton Mastrodonato. And the defensive pairing is Josh Atkinson and Tristan DeYoung. Looks like a pretty good crowd over in Greenville. A guy wearing a Bemidji State jersey. He's probably rooting on Matthias Scholl, who's going to be the goaltender for Greenville. Scholl played at Bemidji State, and he was an outstanding goaltender for them over the last couple of years. He got his feet wet in pro hockey with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits towards the end of last season, and he's got an AHL contract with the Ontario Reign. In fact, in 4 games last year with the Swamp Rabbits, Scholl had a .927 save percentage. For the Grizzlies, John Buchanan makes his head coaching debut. He had coached in the WHL, was an assistant for many years. The last couple of years, he was on the staff of the NCDC's Idaho Falls Spud Kings. And for Greenville, Chad Costello makes his Swamp Rabbits debut. He's the former Allen American head coach last year. He was an assistant with Rapid City. The assistant coach for Greenville is a former Cincinnati head coach, Jason Payne. Puck is dropped and we're underway. Grizzlies in a black jersey with white numbers and professional green trim. As Tyler Gratton chases after it, Tristan DeYoung gets there a step ahead of him. Grizzlies move from right to left as we attempt to see the game on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. We know what YouTube's known for, but we'll try to paint a picture for it, just like the radio. Siren pass out to Gratton's picked off by the Swamp Rabbits. Greenville in a white jersey with orange numbers, a little bit of orange mixed into their kind of snow white jerseys, kind of a lighter shade of white. As the puck is in the Grizzlies zone, play is stopped as we get our first whistle. 28 seconds in the game as it looks like the Swamp Rabbits were offside. Well, who's your pick to click? Who's going to be the player of the game for the Grizzlies tonight? For me, I got my money on Luke Manning, number 16. Manning had an outstanding final month of the regular season, and Manning's going to take the draw. He's got Shea to his left, and to his right is Ty Voigt making his Grizzlies debut. Voigt, a former 5th-round draft pick of Toronto, as the Swamp Rabbits will peel back into their own zone, skating from left to right as we see it. As it's a regular season opener, Grizzlies spread the ice. Watch out for this forward line. They've got a ton of speed in Manning, Voigt, and Shea. As the Swamp Rabbits moving out to center ice, it's banded about waist high by Shea towards Noah Gansky, number 21 in his Grizzlies debut. He'll peel one out to Luke Salem in his 3rd game with Utah. He spent 2 games at the end of the 2023-24 season. Salem from one circle to the other for Gansky. Gansky outlets to center ice as Shea dumps it in. Voigt chases after it. Puck goes into the far corner as the Swamp Rabbits swing it around. As Greenville, number 38, Cam Hausinger, who played with Indy last year, moves to his left. Lefty shot saved by McKay, and the rebound gets cleared towards the far wing wall. Voigt gets the puck as the Grizzlies spread the ice. Voigt will race out to center ice, and he'll chip it to his left for Pike. Pike gets it off the boards, and they'll dump it in. As Grizzlies look like they will switch up, as Voigt will skate back towards center ice. Greenville will move it out to center ice and beyond. Pike gets the puck as he runs it down. He'll push it back to Christian Felton, number 42. As the Grizzlies still in their own zone, will move a left wing pass out towards number 24, John Gillot. He'll dump it in as Gillot's out there with Evan Friesen in their first shift of the game. As Tyler Gratton joins them as the Grizzlies are going with 11 forwards tonight. Swamp Rabbits back towards the near corner deep in their own zone as they get a good check from a Grizzly. As the puck goes off a Friesen stick down the middle of the ice and rolls towards the right point. As puck now goes to Friesen. As Friesen will get it back up top. Grizzlies fire towards the net. It goes wide. As Greenville runs into their own corner to get it. Grizzlies will retreat back to neutral ice. We played 2 minutes. No score. Greenville has one shot. Utah is yet to fire away. As we're having a good time here as the regular season's underway. Grizzlies have 3 games this weekend as Greenville behind their net spreads the ice. Now they'll swing it back towards the near wall as the Swamp Rabbits outletted to center ice and Greenville dumps it in. As pushing it back towards center ice is number 5, Colby Enns, in his Grizzlies debut, second pro game, spent 1 game with Iowa. Last year, he was at Merrimack College. Puck swings back towards the left point. Swamp Rabbits in the attack zone. They get towards Tristan DeYoung. Also get it to Atkinson, right side. Lefty shot, save into traffic, and Dryden McKay comes in front of his crease and dives on the puck as he holds on. 17-14 is the time remaining first period. Greenville has the first 2 shots of the game. Swamp Rabbits will have an offensive zone draw. There are 10 players making their Grizzlies debut tonight. We'll go over those when we get a minute after an icing call. 3 players are making their pro debut this evening. Jack Ricketts, Danny Genev, and John Gillot. And head coach John Buchanan's making his professional head coaching debut. As puck ends up in the corner as Gansky and Salem battle with a couple Swamp Rabbits. As Messner's out in the ice, he continues his battle. Puck goes towards the right corner in the Grizzly zone. Greenville gets pushed in the back by Gansky, who's a physical presence. Swamp Rabbits get it up top. Tristan DeYoung will swing it back towards the vacated corner as Gillot cuts off the pursuit of number 91, who was going after the puck, and that's Austin Saint. And now it goes out to neutral ice as it was pitchforked away by Mick Messner. Swamp Rabbits back in their own zone as Josh Atkinson gets it. He's a native of St. Albert, Alberta. As they'll move it to Tristan DeYoung. DeYoung will nudge it ahead about 10 feet in front of him. As Tate Singleton runs after it behind the net, Dryden McKay will pitch it back towards the near wing wall. McKay is familiar with the Greenville surroundings as he spent 35 games with the Swamp Rabbits last year. Puck towards the Greenville line, and they'll move it back deeper into their own zone as Jacob Modry, the big defenseman, will drop it off. Actually, it's Tim Lavelle, number 43. As Greenville out towards center ice, they cross the center red line to try to chip it in. Grizzlies will loft it over the head of Neil Shea and a Swamp Rabbit. As getting cut off along the near boards is number 23, Reed Lobster, as Shea dumps it back in. Grizzlies with 11 forwards. They might switch up the forward combinations quite a bit here this evening with the odd number. And now the puck goes back towards the far wing wall as it's in the Greenville zone. Swamp Rabbits will bounce one across as it goes tape to tape towards Tim Lavelle, who's a rookie this season. Swamp Rabbits still in their own zone, very patient with their approach, as now Greenville will back it out behind their own net. Patrick Polino, the speedy Buffalo native, will drop it off as Greenville, with their methodical approach, they'll push it back to the near side. Now they get to center ice as the Swamp Rabbits out around. Mascherano tried to one-hand it in deep as Grizzlies cut him off. Grizzlies know him well as Gillot enters the zone, but they are offside with 15:24. That's the time remaining first period. Good to see John Gillot out there. He played in one of the 2 preseason games. We mentioned the last 4 years he was at Holy Cross College. Last season at Holy Cross, he had 7 goals and 10 assists and was a plus 10 in 37 games. Grizzlies continue their road trip in Atlanta as Evan Friesen will take the drives out there with Gillot and Messner. Grizzlies win the draw, and they'll pitch it in. Back behind the net, Matthias Scholl will let it go. Scholl, a first-year pro out of Hermosa Beach, California. Swamp Rabbits loft one towards the line as it bounces off a Colby Enns stick. He'll retreat after it as he gets a loose puck over in the far corner. Now he gets double-teamed by the Swamp Rabbits. Utah comes out of the pile with the puck. Friesen moves it out towards Gillot, who tried to brush it out to neutral ice and does, but Jordan Power gets it for the Swamp Rabbits. Greenville crosses center ice. They've outshot the Grizzlies 2-0. Still no score about 5 minutes in. Right side came Hausinger with a righty shot saved by McKay. Now Messner battles with Hausinger. Hausinger will nudge it to his left. Now the Swamp Rabbits get it up top. Somebody off the screen takes a shot and a score. McKay thinks it was played with a high stick. Cam Hausinger celebrates as if he scored a goal. Grizzlies argue the case, but it's 1-0 Greenville with 14:42 left in the first. Boy, somebody off the screen in the left point fired towards the net. Dryden McKay instantly, as that puck had some English to it. McKay says it was played with a high stick. All the other Grizzlies believe it as well. But the referee, tonight it's Chad Noche, said it was a good goal. As, boy, there was traffic in front. There was Hausinger nearby McKay, and he was battling with ends. There was close to contact being made. But Hausinger, who seemed to be a pretty good blue-collar performer, looks like they're going to go to video replay and take a look at this thing. Unfortunately, from past experience, we do know that unless they change the rule, that the rule of whether a puck was played with a high stick is not reviewable. They can review maybe goaltender's interference. As Hausinger was battling with ends, he got near the crease. Was there enough contact? It was probably tough to tell. But the referee is going to take an extra look at it as both teams are at their respective bench areas as they're looking at the instant replay. As Hausinger skated along the goal line, made contact with ends. Didn't look like Hausinger stick played it. And if there was contact, it was after the puck had crossed McKay. So unless they can show that it was played with a high stick, didn't look like it was, and it didn't look like Hausinger had made contact until the puck had crossed the goal line. So unless the referee says see something that we don't, looks like it's 1-0 Swamp Rabbits. As they show the slow motion replay, is Hausinger, and he's a guy that's got a personality on the ice, and he plays with a personality. He's a guy that will play hard each and every shift. It does look, based on that replay, I mean, you're hoping for contact there that made a difference, but the puck was past McKay by the time Hausinger had made contact. Refereeing one of the linesmen checking it out. The two linesmen are Quinn Schaefer and Kyle Gaspari. It looks like it's Schaefer and Chaz Noche looking at the tablet as they're taking a good long look at it. Keaton Mastrodonato and Mick Messner getting reacquainted. Mastrodonato, as it looks like it is, let's get the referee's signal. He must have a ref mic, and he'll explain to the Flow Sports crowd. And they say we have a good goal. It's 1-0 Swamp Rabbits. So it didn't look like Hausinger got a piece of it, so the defenseman that was off the screen, the Flow Sports screen that we're watching, looks like he gets the goal. Greenville 1, Utah 0. Swamp Rabbits have taken the first 4 shots tonight. And even on the replay, you can't tell who took the shot. Jordan Power has been paired up with Jacob Modry, so it looks like it might be Power. And if it is, that might be his first pro goal, as he is a rookie out of Ottawa. It's 1-0 Swamp Rabbits action in the Greenville zone as Griffin Ness gets pinched along the boards. Luke Salem looking nearby. Grizzlies trying to pitchfork it away. Jack Ricketts, the big 6'1" forward, will nudge it up top. As Grizzlies will roll it back around. Danny Genev's on the ice, number 26 in his pro debut. Grizzlies around the Greenville net towards the near side, skating from right to left during the period. Geneve was acquired in a trade this week with Idaho, and he was a star in the preseason against Utah. Trying to get to Ricketts. It goes wide of the mark. Now Greenville will pitch it out to center ice. Swamp Rabbits center 2-on-1. Greenville look for a centering pass and ends up going towards the right side. Swamp Rabbits can't handle it. Now battle over in the right corner. Greenville in the offensive zone will skate back towards the point as they try to drop it off, and the play was anticipated by Geneve. Geneve, the small guy at Penn State, listed at 5'5" and 150 pounds, but he is lightning on skates. He'll dump it in. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. Tristan DeYoung will move it ahead. DeYoung and Josh Atkinson have played a ton of minutes. As the pass goes incomplete and deep into the Grizzly zone, icing is called on Greenville with 13:38. That's the time remaining in this first period. So they gave the goal to Hausinger, it looks like, on the score sheet, which means he played with, means he played the puck. But if he played it, it had to have been a high stick if they gave him the goal. Jordan Power and Brent Peterson get the assist. That's how they scored the Greenville goal. So they say Hausinger got a piece of it, but his stick was way up over the crossbar at one point. So if he's the one that scored the goal, Grizzlies fire towards the net and a score! Utah gets on the board as Pike fired towards the net. It looks like Garrett Pike's going to skate to the bench first. Boy, Pike just fired a prayer towards the net and somehow got past Matthias Schroll. And with 13:31 left in the first, Grizzlies tied up. So the first shot of the night as Garrett Pike fired towards the net, and there was a lot of traffic out in front as Pike had Messner and Gratton out in front. And somehow it found its way past Matthias Scholl. So we're tied at 1 as the Grizzlies tie it up 6.5 minutes into the contest. And that's the first shot taken by Utah, and it's a successful one. As they gave the goal to Garrett Pike, not sure about the assist. They probably would give an assist to maybe Reed Lepster, who was on the ice, and nudged it towards Pike. As the Swamp Rabbits dump it in, they're called for icing. 13-16 left in the first. And looks like we have a stoppage of play. As Utah gets on the board, Cam Hausinger scores for the Swamp Rabbits, 5:18 in. Grizzlies respond a minute and 11 seconds later as Garrett Pike gets his first of the year. We're tied at 1 on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Garrett Pike gets the Grizzlies' first goal of the year. He scored 6:29 in, and we'll be back in 30 seconds with more action. We're tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
13-15 left in the first period. Draw one by the Swamp Rabbits. They skate from left to right here in the first period. Grizzlies from right to left. Utah picks it off as Pike will nudge it into the Swamp Rabbits zone. Chases after it. Sharp angled shot at the near goal line. Hits the side of the net. Grizzlies back up with it as they try to get it towards Christian Felton. Is picked off. Swamp Rabbits have a 3-on-1. Mastrodonato right side, but the Swamp Rabbits are offside as the whistle blows. Boy, Keaton Mastrodonato saw the odd man break, and he got a little bit too anxious as the Eagle Eye linesman said that the Maestro was offside. He wears number 8, and he must have got hit with a puck in practice as he's got one of those college shot-style shields. So the Swamp Rabbits have outshot the Grizzlies 4-2, but both teams have a goal. Cam Hausinger scored 5:18 in with power, and Peterson getting the assist. And they gave an assist to Mick Messner on the Pike goal that was 6:29 into the first period. Manning will take the drives, get Shea to his left and Voigt to his right. Taking the face-off is Ryan O'Reilly for the Swamp Rabbits. As Utah wins the draw, Shea will push it into the Swamp Rabbits zone. As chasing after it and getting it in the near side is Jacob Modry, number 44. His father played in the NHL. As Luke Manning pushes the Swamp Rabbit, gets the puck, and he gets it to Shea behind the net. Shea gets hit by Modry, who's a big 6'6 defenseman, 215 pounds. Puck is forced out to center ice. Grizzlies dump it back in. Somebody off the screen's got the puck. As Greenville moves out to center ice, it's a one-time tap by Singleton as he gets to Mastrodonato, but the Swamp Rabbits are offside again. As we get a whistle with 12:26. That's the time remaining here in the first period. It's a busy weekend for the Grizzlies. They will take on the Atlanta Gladiators tomorrow night. That's going to be at 5:10. That's the start in the Mountain Time Zone, 7:10 locally at Gas South Arena. And then the Grizzlies and Gladiators will do battle on Sunday afternoon. That's going to be a 1:10 start in the Mountain Time Zone. Neutral zone draws won by the Swamp Rabbits. Manning still out there with Shea and Voigt as Greenville gets it out to center ice. As they force their way around Manning and into the zone as number 72 gets held up along the boards. That's Patrick Polino, the former Cincinnati Cyclone, as he reunites with Jason Payne, former Cyclones head coach. He's a Greenville assistant. Utah tried to center it to Voigt, and it's picked off. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way, 2-on-2 over the line as Atkinson bounces a centering pass. He tried to get to Hausinger out in front of the net. Hausinger couldn't reach it as he was occupied by a Grizzly. Utah comes back across center ice. Salem over the line, skates towards the left circle. Take a lefty shot, saved by Scholl. Rebound Manning, shot, and that one goes wide as Manning had a second look looking for Voigt to drop to redirect it. Grizzlies get it to Manning using the right point. He'll sweep one across as it glanced off a Swamp Rabbit stick. Noah Gansky will move it out to center ice, though, as Grizzlies reset. Utah will take the puck as Reed Lepster, wearing number 23 last year, he was 17, gets around one Swamp Rabbit, gets around a second, gets to the near goal line. Now skates around the net. He's got great speed. Lepster will pitch it up top. Now across to Salem. Left side, he fires a lefty shot, and it's blocked. As taking the puck is Evan Friesen, number 11. He'll move it from one corner to the other. As Lepster gets hit in the back, skates towards the far goal line, dances around, reverses field. As he'll skate back towards the corner. Now he pitches up top for Gansky. Puck kind of died before it got to Gansky, and it moves out to neutralize Salem resets near the Grizzlies bench as he collides with the Swamp Rabbit, gets divorced from the puck. Right wing as the Swamp Rabbits, right side shot saved by McKay. Rebound as Greenville still has it dancing around as Kenta Isogai from Japan took the initial shot. Now I'll push it back as the Swamp Rabbits at the near goal line as they'll get it towards Stepan Timofeyev, the former Norfolk Admiral. Get it to the left side as over in the corner, Swamp Rabbits will pitch it back now down the middle of the ice. Righty shot, and that one's blocked away as that shot was taken by Timofeyev. Puck to the near goal line, Grizzlies zone. Now Greenville gets up top. Now across left point, dangling back and forth. Now they pitch it back towards Jake Murray, wearing number 5. Murray gets across to Tim Lavelle. Now Murray in the high slot pedals. Now he'll move to the left point with the puck. He'll slide it towards his right. Polino, one-timer. He didn't get much on it. As the Grizzlies get the puck as they're in their own zone, Swamp Rabbits will spread the ice and make a line change. Grizzlies with a rink-wide feed that bounces towards the Greenville zone. Run down by a Swamp Rabbit as Austin St., number 91, dumps in, chases after it in the near corner as he collides with Avery Winslow, number 8. I think number 8 might have been Masha Donato's number last year as a Grizzly goes down, and we might get a penalty. As looked like Danny Genev got knocked down over in the near circle, and it's going to be Utah's first power play of the season as a Swamp Rabbit goes to the box, and Danny Genev was the one that drew the penalty. Hooking's going to be the call, and we're tied at 1 with 9:56 left in the first period. We're back in 1 minute with Utah's first power play of the season. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
We're tied at 1. 9:56 is left in the first period. Austin St. is in the box for Greenville. 2 minutes for hooking, so the Grizzlies are on the power play for the first time this season. Utah was somewhere in the middle of the pack on the power play last year. Tyler Gratton will take the drives out there with Shea and Lebster, and up top is Garrett Pike and Ty Voigt. Swamp Rabbits win the face-off, and they will hike it all the way down past Voigt and past Pike, who will retrieve the puck from Dryden McKay. Pike gets the puck. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the first period as Pike will move it out towards Voigt in the right side, tape to tape. Voigt slides it across to Shea. Shea gets it, skates towards the left corner as he steps over the Greenville line, moves it back towards Voigt as Gratton over there with Voigt and a couple Swamp Rabbits. Voigt trying to push the puck away as Greenville will roll it along the boards towards the left corner. Shea delivers a hit as the Swamp Rabbits. Cam Hausinger, his brother Christian, was a Grizzly last year, gets to the right point, kept him by Voigt. He'll move it to the high slot for Pike, who pushes to his left for Shea. Shea just outside the circle, drifts towards the corner. Now throw it from one corner to the other to Pike off the wall. Pike to Gratton, far goal line, as Gratton trying to get it back towards Voigt. And Swamp Rabbits bounce it towards Pike in the right point. Pike collides with a teammate, and the Swamp Rabbits clear it out, and they make a full line change. Looks like the Grizzlies will make a change of their own. McKay behind his net will nudge it back as Grizzlies have Danny Genev out there along with Luke Manning. As Mick Messner is also on the ice, Grizzlies push it back to Manning. As Manning gets a new try, Luke Salem's also out there along with Jack Ricketts. Genev with a puck. He skates into the offensive zone with speed. He's got great speed. Skates around the Greenville net. Fakes it to Manning. Gets it up top. And now Genev still with the puck. He throws it to the far side. We got an extreme close-up, and it's tough to tell who's who. Manning has the puck in the left wing as he gets to the left goal line. Messner back to Manning. He feeds to Salem. Salem moves to his right. Now nudges it back to Manning left side. He's the circle. Take a lefty shot, and it's blocked. Puck goes back to Manning. Shot was blocked by Jake Murray as Manning dances around just inside the left point. Now skates towards the circle. Gets to Messner. Messner feeds it across one-timer, and it goes wide. All right, Messner looked for a rebound off the boards, and Murray cut him off. Good defensive play by Murray. Power play is over, and coming out of the box is Austin St. Grizzlies had a couple of good chances, but they're 0 for 1 on the power play as the Swamp Rabbits throw it all the way in. St. chases after it, but McKay plays behind his net as the Grizzlies will make a change as Ricketts and Manning come off. Puck is deep in the Grizzly zone, but the pocket was picked by a Swamp Rabbit. They throw it to the middle of the ice, and it's picked off by Friesen as he gets pushed along the boards. Salem tried to move it ahead. It glanced off the Swamp Rabbit as Grizzlies will move it to the right side. Now into Swamp Rabbit territory. They step over the offensive line as Ness gets hit in the back. He's out there with Jalot. Puck slides to Evan Friesen as he's at the near goal line. As Friesen will chip it back behind the net for Ness. Ness sweeps it out to the middle of the ice for Friesen, who couldn't handle it on his backhand. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. As Greenville trying to get to Timofeyev, he gets knocked down by Avery Winslow. Grizzlies with a rink-wide feed as they try to get to Griffin Ness. It goes past him as Ness chases after along with Jacob Modry. As he Swamp Rabbits towards the near side, out to center ice. Greenville dumps it in. Chasing after it's Christian Felton. He gets there a stride ahead of a Swamp Rabbit. Now Gratton back towards Felton behind Utah's net. Felton skates towards the far corner and pitches ahead. Utah trying to get to Pike and nudges off of him onto Messner, skates in, but the Grizzlies are offside as there's 6:44 left in the first period. The Grizzlies had some good chances there on the power play, maybe one in particular. There was one play where it looked like Greenville or the Utah fired it off the end boards, and it looked like Messner had a chance for it off the end wall. Puck kind of skipped on him a little bit, and Jake Murray had occupied Messner, and Murray made an outstanding play to keep it in one game. So Messner is out there with Lubster and Gratton. The top forward line for Greenville's also out there. O'Reilly, Masha, Donato, and Singleton. Utah wins the draw, and Gratton pitches it in deep as Atkinson gets it off the boards. Josh's first name. He's still slided towards the left side, but the Grizzlies keep it in. Now down the middle of the ice. Righty shot saved by Scholl. He holds on. Shot was taken by Reed Webster with 6:29 left in the first. Scholl made a body save as he just corralled it around the front of his jersey with the Greenville Swamp Rabbit logo. As there's 6:29 left in the first, Grizzlies will have an offensive zone draw in the right circle. Opening night for the Swamp Rabbits. Don't forget the Grizzlies are 8 nights away from the home opener. That's going to be on Saturday, October 25th. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com or go to the Maverick Center box office on game night. Hope to see a lot of fans as the Grizzlies win the draw. Utah will get it back towards the right side. Lefty shot saved by Scholl. Puck is redirected. Salem left side takes a lefty shot saved by Scholl again. That one was about shoulder high, and he holds on as there's now 6:21 left in the first. Unfortunately, we just saw Swamp Rabbits graphics, so we couldn't see the line change. Looks like Voigt's out there with Manning and Shea. Those three will stay on the ice as Manning will take the draw. The St. Thomas product. It's his second full season as a pro. Manning's a high-quality, high-character guy who plays a good two-way game. Off the draw, Salem left side, lefty shot, and that one's saved by Scholl as Shea shields Greenville from the puck. They get to Salem, back towards Shea. Shea nearby to Voigt, who gets held up along the boards. 2-on-2 battle. Shea with the puck as he gets occupied. Murray looks nearby. Voigt joins the play as Voigt collides with Mastrodonato. Mastrodonato takes the puck, and he'll move it out to center ice. Mastrodonato, in his third season as a pro, played with Idaho 2 years ago and was a Grizzly last year. Utah will pitch it in. Scholl behind his net will roll it along the boards. Now out off the screen. Greenville has it across center ice. All Greenville's got numbers 4-on-2. Swamp Rabbits get to the left side. Righty shot saved by McKay. As Grizzlies come up with it, it bounced off a stick. Greenville keeps it in the right point. Modry will move it ahead. Singleton wearing number 9. Skates around Utah's net towards the far side. Now Singleton still with the puck. He's in the left point. He'll drop it off for Modry. He winds and fires, and McKay lets it go wide of him as McKay had occupied a spot there in front of the crease. Mastrodonato gets to Singleton, now across to Modry. Modry's got an outstanding shot, but he gets to Singleton down the middle of the ice. Singleton, he'll take a lefty shot and gets redirected by Voigt's stick, and it flies out of play off the protective netting. That stops play with 5:13 left in the first period. We'll come back in 1 minute as we're tied at 1 on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Cam Hausinger scored 5:18 into the first period. Garrett Pike of the Grizzlies responded a minute and 11 seconds later for his first of the year with Messner gained the assist. More hockey after this.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Welcome back to Grizzlies hockey. 5:13 is the time remaining first period. It's the third meeting all time between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. Utah won 6-4 on February 1st of 2020. Mitch Maxwell scored the game winner 17:37 into the third period as he redirected a Yuri Torreo shot. Ty Lewis had 1 goal and 1 assist. And then the Grizzlies won 4-2 on February 15th of 2023 as Cameron Wright had 2 goals. Cam Strong and Dylan Fitz each found the back of the net. I remember the game in 2020 much more than the game in 2023 because I was at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena in 2020. I don't remember a darn thing about that game in 2023, even though it was more recent. Grizzlies dumping in. Jalot and Grattan chase after it as 10 Grizzlies are making their team debut. We'll also see Dylan Wells and a couple others later as Pike from the left side fires towards the net and it goes wide glove side on Scholl as Scholl catches with his left. Now down the middle of the ice, high slot, righty shot goes wide. Pike chases after it in the near corner. Swamp Rabbits get it, though, as they'll feed a long-range pass out to the left side. 2 Swamp Rabbits almost collide. 4.5 minutes left in the first. Greenville gets out the center ice methodically. Now they push it in, as does Patrick Polino, the native of Buffalo, New York. He was with Cincinnati for a few years. Polino over to the left corner as he gets held up by Felton. Now the Grizzlies will pitch it out to center ice. Utah will bounce one across to Pike. Pike regathers the puck, and he skates back to the Utah line, and he'll push it back to Felton as Pike will come off the ice, and Felton dangles back and forth. He's in the far circle as he'll nudge it ahead. Pass goes wide of the mark as he was looking for Salem. Now Salem will knife it away as the Grizzlies have it at center ice, 3-on-2 if they want it. Utah over the attack line gets it to Genev as he gets it back to Jalot in the give and go. Now up top to Salem, left point. He'll bounce one on to Scholl, who makes a butterfly save. Now Ness tried to get it out in front as he was looking for a teammate. Pass goes wide. Now after it as Ricketts over to the near goal line. Now back to the right side. Grizzlies skate in. They fire it towards traffic. Actually, the Grizzlies have it behind the net to get to Genev. One-timer, and it goes wide. And Greenville will clear it out. Boy, good effort by Danny Genev as the Grizzlies will bounce one off the near wing wall. As Griffin Ness lets it go. Greenville will push it back to neutral ice. Actually, it's picked off by Ricketts, who had 20 goals with Quinnipiac last year, trying to get to Ness, but it's taken away by the Swamp Rabbits. Greenville re-enters 3-on-3. Swamp Rabbits, right side, lefty shot. Glove saved by McKay. He holds on. That shot was taken by number 17, Hudson Shondor, who's got an AHL contract with the Ontario Reign. Shondor, first-year pro from North Vancouver, British Columbia. And they show a replay. Boy, Grizzlies tried to feather it out in front to Ricketts, and Scholl was able to bounce it with his glove. Boy, good defensive play by Scholl, the goaltender. Sometimes you have to be your own defenseman, and he did a good job there. It looked like it was Gansky out in front trying to get it towards Jack Ricketts. As Greenville loses the puck as he draws in the Grizzlies zone. Utah will nudge it out to center ice. They try to get to Grattan and goes past him. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. As Greenville dumps it in, about 3 minutes left in the first period. As Utah gets hit along the boards. Puck back towards the right side. A Grizzly gets hit in the back, and that's number 59, Tyler Grattan. Now Greenville left side walks in. Now around Dryden McKay. They force one out in front, and it bounced off the stick of Shondor. Now the Swamp Rabbits, Murray moves to his left. Shot, and a stick goes flying as it goes into 2 pieces as it broke. Webster gets the puck. He stands behind Utah's net. Grizzlies skate from right to left during the period. Webster starts the attack. Now push it back to somebody off the screen. Now entering is Avery Winslow. He'll get it to his right. Long-range feed. Goes off a Grizzly stick. Greenville runs it down. Utah probably switches up forwards. As Greenville back deep in their own zone. We're tied at 1. 2:20 on a moving clock here in the first period. Greenville will start the attack. Not too many players that have played against the Grizzlies over the years on this Greenville roster. Swamp Rabbits dumping on to McKay, who will roll it around the wall. Ty Voigt gets the puck, number 96, ahead to Manning. Manning skates into the offensive line with ease. Now he skates to the left corner, stops on a dime as he gets hit in the shoulder. Manning goes down, taking the puck as Pike. He fires towards the net, and that one's blocked away. Boy, Pike's been outstanding for the Grizzlies tonight. Voigt back to Pike, one-timer, and that one's blocked away by Scholl. Boy, Pike's been outstanding, as we mentioned, and he looked like he had a pretty good shot there. Manning back behind the net for Shea. Shea feeds one out in front, looking for, boy, Greenville is able to get a stick in the way as they're looking for Felton cutting in. Mastrodonato chase after it. He gets a loose puck. Mastrodonato left circle, take a righty shot, saved by McKay. And he holds on. Oh, we know how dangerous Keaton Mastrodonato can be. He raced after a loose puck, got it in the left circle, and he fired a righty shot, but McKay makes a save and holds on with 1:31 left in the first. So we're still tied at 1. Both goals came 1 minute and 11 seconds apart, and there's a little bit of controversy if it is Cam Hausinger that got the Greenville goal, as if he did play it could have been with a high stick. I'm not sure. They're going to have to relook and see. As interestingly enough, they show the replay of Timofeyev's stick, and it looked like the business end of the stick ended up flying into the seats. That one not only broke, but it looked like a part of the stick ended up flying into row 12. Looks like a really good crowd at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. Grizzlies won the draw. They're in their own zone. Gansky's paired up with Salem. Salem gets hit in the left shoulder on a good check by number 10, Brent Peterson, who's 6'3", 215. Scrum over in the left corner as McKay looks over his right shoulder. As getting pushed in the back is Friesen by Hausinger. Hausinger's got a ton of spunk and personality. Utah comes out with the puck. Utah 3-on-3. They cross center ice. Left wing pitch connects to Jalot. Jalot skates towards the left goal line. Stops on a dime. He gets taken off the puck by DeYoung, who sweeps it from one corner to the other. Jalot battles with a Swamp Rabbit who's in a white jersey with orange numbers, a little bit of orange and white mixed in, orange lettering in the back. Peterson long-range feed as the Swamp Rabbits are offside. Oh, I thought they were offside, but it looks like they play on as Gansky gets the puck and he'll pitch it to somebody off the screen. This way, camera operator. Ricketts gets the left side. I try to find Ness out in front of the net. Bounced off of Scholl's pads and behind the net. Grizzlies right side lefty shot. Saved by Scholl. He holds on with 32.9 seconds left in the first. As Griffin Ness paired up with Ricketts and Danny Geniev. Couldn't quite tell who took the shot. That might have been Geniev who took the right wing lefty shot that was saved by Scholl, as there's 32.9 seconds left in the first. Grizzlies do have a lot of impressive forwards. I know a lot of talk over the last couple days has been about Dylan Fitz getting released a couple days ago. Fitz had played in 192 games of the Grizzlies over the last 3.5 years, and it's certainly odd not seeing Fitz in the Grizzlies lineup. He scored some big goals for the Grizzlies in past years. Swamp Rabbits get the puck, less than half a minute left in the first period on a 1-1 tie. They nudge it in deep. Big time hit delivered by Christian Felton. He's out there with Pike. Pike will get it to the left corner for Ness. Ness battles with a couple Swamp Rabbits. Pike will get the puck. He'll nudge it behind Utah's net for Felton. Felton stops on a dime. He's an outstanding skater as he gets it back towards Pike. 10 seconds left in the period. Pike pitchforks it ahead. Swamp Rabbits get it back. Now Utah will take it away. As now back to the left corner. Felton gets physical with a Swamp Rabbit. Pike in the area, and time runs out in the first period as we play 20 minutes. Both teams have to like their effort. Swamp Rabbits took a 1-0 lead as Hausinger scored 5:18 as he cut in front of Dryden McKay and apparently got a piece of it with power, and Peterson gained the assist. Utah got on the board 6:29 in as Pike got his first of the year, with Mick Messner getting credit for an assist. And I got to say, Garrett Pike was outstanding in the first period. He was lined up with Felton. Luke Salem had 4 shots in the first period. Pike with at least 3, as looks like the shot count after one period is Utah 12 and Greenville 10. Interestingly enough, when you're looking at the shot count, 7 of the 12 shots were taken by, actually 8 of the 12 were taken by defensemen. Salem with 4, Pike with 3, and Christian Felton with 1 shot. Danny Geniev had 3 shots for the Grizzlies, and Reed Lepster had 1 shot. For the Swamp Rabbits, Cam Hausinger, keep thinking about his brother Christian Hausinger, who played with the Grizzlies a handful of games at the end of last year. Cam Hausinger, who played against the Grizzlies last year as a member of the Indy Fuel. He had 3 shots, and 7 other Swamp Rabbits with 1 shot. Other than the goal, the best chance probably was Masho Donato running down a loose puck and had pretty much a breakaway, fired a slap shot from the left circle that McKay made a good save on. Both goaltenders were solid in the first period. Dryden McKay saved 9 of 10 as he's facing his former team. And Matthias Scholl saved 11 of 12 for the Swamp Rabbits. When we come back, we will go over some of the key storylines of the first period, although we probably just went over them over the last minute or so. And we'll also go over some league scores. Happy opening day, everybody. It's the Grizzlies and the Swamp Rabbits tied at 1 after 1. You're tuned into the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
After 20 minutes of play over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena, Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits are tied at 1. Thanks to everybody who's tuned into Grizzlies games throughout the years, and thanks to everybody who's tuned in here this evening, not only on Flow Sports, our exclusive video stream provider of the league, but also on YouTube for our radio coverage. And we put radio in quotation marks as we know what YouTube's known for, but we're having a fun time. Nonetheless, I think we pretty much went over that first period. It was a pretty simple 1-1 tie. Cam Hausinger scored 5:18, and it was interesting. They went to video replay after the goal. The shot was fired from the left point by Jordan Power. Hausinger cut towards the net, tried to force his way in there with Garrett Pike. Hausinger, if he did get a piece of it, his stick was pretty high in the air, high enough to where you'd think that if he got a piece of it, that it would be played with a high stick. It didn't necessarily look like from the slow motion shots we saw. I mean, maybe I need new glasses, but I didn't think Hausinger got a piece of it. And if he did, was a stick high enough to take away the goal, but they counted the goal nonetheless. Maybe they're looking for goaltender interference, but Hausinger had made contact with McKay after the puck had crossed the goal line. Nevertheless, it was 1-0 Swamp Rabbits, 5:18 in. Hausinger got credited with the goal. Jordan Power and Brent Peterson picked up the assists. A minute later, Garrett Pike had the puck in the left point, fired towards the net. There was a lot of traffic, a couple bodies. Looked like Lebster and Gratton were out in front of the net, and Pike's puck just had eyes as it got past Scholl and past the goal line to tie it up at 1. That was 6:29 into the first period. And if you're talking about standouts for the Grizzlies over the first 20 minutes, Garrett Pike seemed to make an impact in every shift that he was out there. He's been paired up with Christian Felton. We mentioned it earlier, but 8 of the 12 shots that Utah had in the first period were taken by defensemen. Luke Salem led the way with 4 shots. Garrett Pike had 3. Christian Felton with 1 shot. Danny Genev also with 3 shots in the first period, making his pro debut, number 26. And it's kind of interesting that he was acquired in a trade a couple weeks ago from Idaho. And I was a little bit surprised considering that he was probably Idaho's best forward in those 2 preseason games. He scored a goal in each of the 2 preseason games, and it looked like he made a strong impact. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's able to do in his rookie season. He had an outstanding college career at Penn State. They say he missed the Gavin McKenna era by a year, but I think Gavin McKenna missed the Danny Genev era by a year. I don't know. He looked like he made a strong impact in the first period, and I'm certainly glad the Grizzlies picked him up because he looked like he was outstanding last week against the Grizzlies as a member of the Idaho Steelheads. As Genev, in his pro debut, he's one of 3 players to make their pro debuts tonight for the Grizzlies. Genev, along with Jack Ricketts and John Jalot, and head coach John Buchanan is making his regular season head coaching debut. Unfortunately, with these remote broadcasts, they are very one-sided in terms of what they show. So we have not seen the Grizzlies bench once. We have not seen any shots of John Buchanan or Ryan Anderson in between whistles. If you want to see a Grizzly, good luck. That's unfortunately part of the things that we face, but we're having a good time nonetheless. For Greenville, they had 10 shots in the first period. Cam Hausinger had 3 shots, and then 7 Swamp Rabbits had 1 shot, including the former Grizzly Keaton Mastrodonato in his 1 shot. was over on the left side. And once he ran the puck down, it was pretty much him and McKay. We obviously saw last year that Mastrodonato's got a pretty good slap shot, and it looked like it was kind of a patented slap shot, but McKay was able to make the save and keep it a 1-1 tie. Dryden McKay saved 9 of 10 in the first period. Matthias Scholl, the Bemidji State product, who's in his first full season as a pro, he had 4 solid games with the Swamp Rabbits towards the end of last season. Scholl saved 11 of 12. There was only 1 penalty in the first period. Greenville forward Austin Saint got a hooky minor, 10:04 into the first. Grizzlies had a couple good looks towards the end of the power play, but couldn't find the back of the net. Grizzlies in the preseason did a good job staying out of the penalty box. Grizzlies didn't get a ton of power plays, though, in the preseason either. Utah last season was one of the least penalized teams in the league. And if we're looking at reasons and maybe things the Grizzlies will look to have a successful season, and that's obviously improving the penalty kill, which finished last season, and see if they can find a way to get some things going on the power play, but special teams in the first period and really in the preseason, at least one of the preseason games didn't make that big of an impact. So we're a third of the way through this contest, and it looked like a pretty evenly matched game between the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits. Two teams are certainly looking to improve from last season's total. Both teams have new head coaches. We mentioned John Buchanan of the Grizzlies, and Chad Costello is the head coach of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. He's got a pretty good assistant in Jason Payne, who was the head coach of the Cincinnati Cyclones over the last 4 years. And Payne actually had a pretty good win-loss total. I know Cincinnati had a bit of a disappointing season last year, but Payne, in his 4 years in Cincinnati, had a .550 winning percentage. So we'll see what the second period has in store. Grizzlies won, Swamp Rabbits won, and when we come back in a couple minutes, we'll go over some other ECHL scores, and we'll check in on those living the dream, as we'll go over some NHL scores on the other side as well. Swamp Rabbits and Grizzlies are tied at 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Best for Less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest-lasting, best-performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits tied at 1. We'll go over some scores in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Some other action across the league. After one period, Reading leads Trois-Rivières 2-1. One of the Reading goals was scored by former Grizzly Brandon Sajan. The Ragin' Sajan gets on the board for Reading. He scored 14:02 into the first period. The game played in Fishers, Indiana, hometown of the great Mike Folta. Fort Wayne leads Indy 1-0. Murray has the first period goal for Fort Wayne. Also after one period, Florida leads Orlando 2-1. Former Grizzly defenseman J.C. Brassard has a lone tally for the Solar Bears. Also after one period, Norfolk leads Savannah 1-0. Just getting underway, Tulsa is at Iowa. That game played at Extreme Arena in Coralville, Iowa. At 6 o'clock, Rapid City is at Kansas City. And at 8 o'clock, Idaho is taking on Tahoe. Tahoe's new head equipment manager is Jackson Hibbert, who was the Grizzlies' head equipment manager over the last 2 years. So that's the other scores in the ECHL. A little bit more than half the teams are in action tonight. The Atlanta Gladiators, the Grizzlies' opponent tomorrow, that will be their debut game tomorrow evening, as our good friend Guy Carenza is a first-year broadcaster with the Atlanta Gladiators, and Guy will make, some people would say it's his pro debut tonight, but I would say that the year he was with the Grizzlies during the 2022-23 season, I'd say that would be a pro debut. But nevertheless, Guy Carenza, we're certainly thrilled to have him in the league, and he's a broadcaster with the Atlanta Gladiators. He'll make his Gladiators debut tomorrow evening, as Grizzlies will be in there for a 2-game set, Saturday night at 5 o'clock and Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Some NHL scores tonight. There's only a handful of games in action after one period. Red Wings lead the Lightning 1-0. Also after one period, Dylan Strom scored for the Capitals. They lead Minnesota 1-0. Capitals outshot the Wild 14-3 in the first period. At 6:30, Canucks are at the Blackhawks. Blackhawks are 2-2-1 on the season. And at 7 o'clock, the team in Rock Black, Mountain Blue, and Salt White are in action at Delta Center as the 2-2 Utah Mammoth take on the 0-1-2 San Jose Sharks. Dylan Gunther leads Utah with 2 goals in the season. Nick Schmaltz leads the Mammoth with 3 assists, and Karel Vejmelka has both of Utah's victories in net. So that should be an interesting one at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you have ESPN Plus, because that's the only way you can catch video of the game. Well, the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits are tied at 1. Obviously, a lot of new faces for John Buchanan's crew, as he's done a pretty good job with this club. And it was interesting talking with some of the players during Content Day a couple days ago. You can check that if you haven't seen it at UtahGrizzlies.com, which is pretty much in the same spot you can catch tonight's game, as we did pretty much an hour show talking with the most Grizzlies players. And it was interesting talking with Reed Webster and Griffin Ness. You know, they talked about the identity of this team, and, you know, it seems like it's a little bit more defensive focused. You know, Griffin Ness talked about the Grizzlies wanting to be a team that's tough to play against. And I certainly saw a lot of that in the first period. Grizzlies doing a good job winning those 50-50 pucks. Seemed like there was a lot of hustle, not only with the puck, but without the puck. Grizzlies look like they're going to be a blue-collar team this season. It looks like they're going to move around pretty well. And if they can utilize their speed, especially that forward line of Shea, Manning, and Ty Voigt, that's about as fast a forward line as you're going to see in this league. If the Grizzlies can find a way to play fast, I got a feeling they're going to have a pretty successful season. They're facing a Greenville team that's looking for a bounce-back effort, and obviously with it being the Swamp Rabbits home opener, you know you're going to get a good effort from them. But the Grizzlies, I thought, had a pretty solid first period of play. You know, you think about the new staff that the Grizzlies have. You think about the director of hockey operations, Eric Hudson, who is a former goaltender at Iowa State University, and he also spent some time as goaltender in the SPHL. And he's the director of hockey operations for the Grizzlies. And John Buchanan, obviously the first-year head coach. Ryan Anderson is an assistant coach. Anderson 2 years ago was head coach of the Amarillo Wranglers, who went to the NAHL playoffs. Jack Skilly is an assistant coach and director of skill development. Former Grizzly goaltender Garrett Metcalf has been working with the goaltenders all season long. First-year equipment manager DJ McFarland. He spent the last year as his assistant equipment manager, and he replaces Jackson Hibbert, who, as we mentioned earlier in the intermission, is now with the Tahoe Night Monsters. And the athletic trainer is Brooke Timoney, who this past baseball season was actually with the Chicago White Sox organization. And she was athletic trainer for the Birmingham Barons in AA, as there's no doubt that there's a lot of future big leaguers that were playing in Birmingham this season. And so great to have Brooke Timoney join the Grizzlies organization. She replaces Colin Lee, who spent the last 5 years with the Grizzlies. Colin is now athletic trainer for the Greensboro Gargoyles, who I think are part owned by Paul Bissonnette, as Greensboro is in its first year of existence. So we'll see what happens here in the second period. We'll be skating 5-on-5 on the other side. And for the Grizzlies, they look to find a way to break the deadlock. You have to like what you saw from the defensive efforts of Luke Salem. You know, he's been paired up with Noah Gansky so far tonight, and Garrett Pike has done a great job with Christian Felton. The Grizzlies are kind of rolling the forward lines a little bit different. We're seeing kind of different combinations as the Grizzlies do have 11 forwards this evening, as they're rolling with 17 skaters, 11 forwards, and 6D. When we come back, we'll have second period action on the other side. You've been tuned in to the Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
We're about set for the second period of play as the Utah Grizzlies take on the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We're tied at 1 as Cam Hausinger scored 5:18 in, and Garrett Pike responded a minute 11 seconds later as he got his first of the season. A lot of great things and fun things happening in and around Maverick Center all season long. Remember, the home opener is 8 days from now, Saturday, October 25th, as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Halloween, Grizzlies have a home game that's going to be Friday, October 31st to conclude a 3-game series with the Jacksonville Icemen. Pucks and Pups will be on Friday, November 14th, and that's going to be a ton of fun. Hispanic Heritage Night is on Saturday, November 29th, and from what I hear, the Mammoth are having Hispanic Heritage Night this evening over at Delta Center. The final Teddy Bear Toss in team history is going to be on Saturday, December 13th, Community Night with a pregame farmers market. It's going to be on Saturday, December 27th. Youth Sports Nights on January 17th this year. The final Guns and Hoses in team history will be on Saturday, January 31st. Valentine's Day, the Grizzlies have a home game on February 14th. Grizz Fight Cancer Weekend will be on Friday and Saturday, February 27th and 28th. Military Nights on March 14th. Wild West Night, certainly interested in what that looks like. That's going to be on March 27th. Star Wars Night on April 4th, and Fan Appreciation Night, which is the final regular season game in team history. That's going to be on Saturday, August 11th, or April 11th. So looks like both teams are on the ice. If you're on Flow Sports, that's the Greenville Swamp Rabbits logo. That is a sweet-looking swamp rabbit. I'm not sure what their mascot looks like, but if it's anything like that, that probably ranks right up there with Tusky and Grisby with the best-looking mascots in all of sports. Grizzlies, if it's the same 5 that started the game, they should start with Gratton, Messner, and Lebster with a defensive pairing of Garrett Pike and Christian Felton. As looks like the Swamp Rabbits will start out with Tate Singleton, Ryan O'Reilly, and Keaton Mastrodonado, and a defensive pairing of Josh Atkinson and Tristan DeYoung. Grizzlies will skate from right to left as we see it, and the Swamp Rabbits will skate from, actually, it's going to be the opposite side. We're getting the reverse angle. Grizzlies should skate from left to right here in the period. Swamp Rabbits from right to left. Grizzlies won the draw. Utah from left to right as we get our direction straight. As dumping it in, it's actually Griffin Ness that's out there. As, you know, in past years, the Grizzlies would just start the same 5 for each period, but the Grizzlies have gone with a different forward lineup. As looks like Genev's out there, Jack Ricketts and Griffin Ness. As the Swamp Rabbits will fire it wide. Now they skate around Dryden McKay's net as Greensville will dump it into the near corner. Now the Swamp Rabbits get it back as Ryan O'Reilly trying to locate the puck. He's a first-year pro. O'Reilly trying to get to traffic with Singleton. Singleton couldn't get it. Now he gets the puck back in the left corner. He gets it back up top for O'Reilly, who's occupied by Ricketts. Ricketts holds his ground. Geneva as well, as Ricketts will force it back to Swamp Rabbits ice. Geneva gets the puck as he'll nudge it back towards Ricketts, who fires a righty shot, and that one's blocked away by Scholl, as Ricketts couldn't get all of the shot as he was cut out in front. No icing on the play. Swamp Rabbits feed it towards the right side. Shot goes wide. Grizzlies dump it back to center ice. Manning with the puck, moves towards his left. Now he steps over the offensive line. Swamp Rabbits sweep it away. Now Manning will force himself towards the end boards with the puck. Neil Shea trying to get towards Manning, who swung and missed, and the puck will glide towards Scholl, who will cover it up in front of the crease to stop play with 18:44 left in the second. So for the Grizzlies, a couple good shifts there to start the second period. But both teams seem to be working hard with and without the puck. First period seemed to be pretty evenly matched, and it looks like the second period So far has been pretty evenly matched. Shots were pretty close to even in the first period. Utah led the way with 12 shots, and Greenville had 10 in the first period. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies, we believe, as Utah wins the draw. As Gansky trying to get out in front of Manning, he gets held up. Now a shot by Manning goes wide. Shea behind the net battles. Voigt gets the puck. He throws up top looking for Gansky. Greensville will bounce it to center ice. Swamp Rabbits get the bouncing puck as they'll step over the offensive line. Now they get to the left circle. Centering pass is picked off by the Grizzlies' Luke Salem, as it was Brent Peterson that tried to center it out in front. Gansky with a rink-wide feed, and Voigt lets it go past him. Scholl dives at the near goal line to cut it off. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. Rink-wide feed past Peterson. Now the Swamp Rabbits will dump it into the left corner. Peterson chases after it. He collides with John Gillot, number 24. Swamp Rabbits get to somebody off the screen in the right point. Now they'll nudge it back to the right circle as it's brushed away by the Grizzlies' number 8, Avery Peterson, the former Nailer and Solar Bear. Puck back up top, now across. As left wing, Jordan Power will move it back towards Modry on the right side. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. Now the Swamp Rabbits will move it back towards the right wing wall. Modry gets belted by the Grizzlies' Griffin Ness. Utah comes out with a puck as Colby ends. Will push it ahead to neutralize for Gillot. Gillot crosses center ice. He gets his pocket picked by Power. Jordan's his first name, no relation to Jared Power, the former Grizzly. As puck behind McKay's net, as he looks over his left shoulder, actually looks through the net. Now he looks to his right shoulder. Action continues, ends nearby. He pedals, gets the puck as it's towards the near goal line. Gillot collides with Peterson. Ends gets cross-checked in the back, no call. Grizzlies get it to Gillot. He gets it taken away. Now the Grizzlies back to the near side. Will try to get to center ice. It's kept in. Now it's deep in the Grizzlies zone. Ends with the puck as he'll spin it along the wall. Puck off the screen to center ice. Both teams will switch up forwards. Greenville enters. Grizzlies on the back check as the puck slides towards the right corner. Ends collides with 2 Swamp Rabbits behind the net. And Utah comes back up with it as the Grizzlies get it back to center ice. Reed Lepster with the puck. Skates around the Greenville logo at center ice. Gets to center ice. No pitchfork it in. As the Swamp Rabbits run it down, Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Back to the right point. Dancing around is Christian Felton. He'll take a righty shot that goes on Scholl off one hop of the ice. Scholl collects it about I'd say knee high. Holds on with 16:22 left in the second. And it's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Grizzlies as we're tied at 1. We played about 4 minutes. Mick Messner will be on the ice, we think. We're not sure if either team is going to make a line change. And, if you're looking for some secrets to broadcasting, normally between whistles, you want to see who's on the ice and see. And we get, we get a logo for a sponsor. Looks like Messner is on the ice. He wins the face-off as the Grizzlies dump it in deep. Lepster gets held up. Messner now to the right wing. He'll skate towards a point. Now push it back towards Felton. He'll fire righty shot that goes wide. Not sure if Scholl got a piece of it as we didn't get a good look at the net. As Greenville dances around over in the left corner, as they'll bounce it like a basketball to new try. Swamp Rabbits collect it. Greenville, Atkinson gets it to the right side. Now they push it to the middle of the ice. Pass goes awry. Utah out to center ice. Gratton nudged it ahead, but nudged it too far ahead as a Swamp Rabbit comes up with it as they skate down the middle of the ice. Being back checked by Gratton. Singleton's the one that took it away from Gratton. He'll nudge it to the near side. The Swamp Rabbits will move it to center ice. As a Grizzly goes down 2-on-1, make it a 3-on-2. Grizzly starting pass now. Shot saved by Scholl. Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. Ness had a pretty good look down the middle of the ice, but Scholl denied him. Power back behind the net as he collides with Gansky. Gansky shadowing Power like a hawk. Now the Swamp Rabbits. Gansky holds his ground. Grizzlies come out with it. Utah will race to center ice as Ricketts will drop it for Ness. Ness right side takes a righty shot. Saved by Scholl. And he holds on as Scholl came out of his crease to cut off the angle, and he made a nice save and didn't allow a rebound. So 2 good looks by Griffin Ness here on that shift as he was denied both times by Matthias Scholl. Like Griffin Ness last year played in 73 games, 59 with Toledo, where he had 11 goals and 11 assists. He was acquired by the Grizzlies on March 10th in a trade for Cole Gallant. And Ness in 14 games with Utah had 3 goals and 7 assists. Ness will take the drives out there with Genev and Ricketts. Grizzlies win the draw. Colby ends right point. He'll fire a righty shot that goes wide, glove side on Scholl. As the Swamp Rabbits will bounce it off a Grizzly stick out to new try. Swamp Rabbits enter as Greenville gets it out towards Hausinger. Left side just outside the circle, takes a righty shot wide. Hausinger back up top as Power He got taken away by Ness. Boy, Ness has been outstanding here in the second period. Puck bounces at center ice. Grizzlies have it. As Ness will get it towards Genev. Genev bounced it back to Ness. Ness right side of the righty shot, and that's blocked. Genev gets it in the right corner. He pushes it back up top, but it goes to center ice. Felton collects it. He'll peel back into his own zone. Boy, Felton's an outstanding skater as he collides knees with a Swamp Rabbit. Grizzlies take over the play as Shea. Will bounce it off the end boards and goes in front of the crease. Scholl covers up as, boy, that one took a crazy bounce off the wall. Shea just bounced it off the end boards, and somehow the puck just directed itself in front of the net, and Scholl just covers up with 14:23 left in the second. So we're tied at 1. Nobody has scored here so far in the middle frame, but Griffin Ness had a couple good looks. He was denied on both occasions by Matthias Scholl. Well, it looks like a penalty's been called. It's a trip. Not sure who the penalty's on, but they are going to skate towards the Swamp Rabbit zone, and it is a Utah power play for 2 minutes. We didn't get to see who goes to the box for the Swamp Rabbits, but somebody broke a hockey rule. 2 minutes for tripping. As Greenville, Gratton gets the puck and he spins it along towards the right wing wall. It's a Voigt. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Up top, Pike feeds to the right corner. Now back up top to Pike, but he gets it taken away on the way to Pike. Swamp Rabbits get to center ice and they lose control. As Pike with the puck, he will skate around Dryden McKay's net. Pike dangles back and forth, gets to neutral ice. Pike strides towards center ice and he drops it off for Voigt. Voigt will move it to his left as Shea whips it around the boards. Gratton trying to get there. A Swamp Rabbit will clear it all the way out. Looks like for the second period, they've allowed the Tulsa Oilers camera crew to broadcast things and try to show us a picture as the Grizzlies are 50 seconds into their second power play of the season. Voigt will drop it for Lepster across the center ice. Now Lepster keeps it. He grabs his face as if he were hit by a high stick. No call. Grizzlies towards the left goal line. Get it to Voigt. You try to get it back to Manning on a give and go. Manning was skating back behind the net. Another Grizzly picks it up, and that's Messner. He gets it to Voigt in the right point. Voigt will skate towards the right circle, pitch it up top for Salem, but the pass goes wide. Grizzlies at neutral ice will reset. Manning skates back into his own zone. He'll slide it in front of McKay as Salem accepts the puck, and he'll skate behind McKay. 35 seconds on a moving clock in Utah's power play. Less than 13 seconds left, or 13 minutes left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Salem trying to get to his left. It's taken away as it ricochets off the glass. Swamp Rabbits up with it, and they will hike it all the way. Looks like it goes out of play. As looks like the draw is going to be back in the Swamp Rabbit zone. So there's 20 seconds left in Utah's power play and 12:43 left in the second period. So Grizzlies will have Griffin Ness out there with Evan Friesen and John Gillott, and a defensive pairing of Winslow and Enns. This kind of looks like a 5-on-5 type of situation for the Grizzlies, even though there's still 20 seconds left in their power play. Utah wins a draw. Enns gets to Winslow, and he'll nudge it back towards Griffin Ness. He's been outstanding. Over to Friesen. One-timer saved by Scholl. He holds on, and after the whistle, John Gillott with some pushing and shoving with Jacob Modry. Modry 6'6", 215. Gillott goes 5'11", 195, but good job by John Gillott. Not minding that the other guy's got 7 inches on him as he battled in front of the net. As Modry delivered a push on Gillott. Well, these camera operators have struggled so much in the second period, they couldn't even get that after the whistle. Friesen will take the draw. He's got Gillott to his left. And Patrick Polino will take the face-off for Greenville. He's got a ton of pro experience. Utah wins the draw. Gillott pushes it up top, but it goes past him and all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. Winslow gets the puck coming out of the penalty box to the Swamp Rabbit as we're skating 5-on-5. And it looked like it was Cam Hausinger who was in the box for Greenville. As Ness delivers a push on a Swamp Rabbit, and that's Modry. Modry shields Ness from the puck as the Swamp Rabbits will move it out to center ice. About 12 minutes left in the second period. We're tied at 1. Nobody has scored here in the middle frame. Swamp Rabbits dump it in. McKay gloves it and drops it to keep the play alive. Winslow trying to reverse his field, and it looked like he cut an edge as he loses his balance. Hausinger gets up top. Now across to Atkinson left side. Atkinson to the middle of the ice. DeYoung will take a righty shot, and that one's blocked away. As Atkinson throws it behind the net, Swamp Rabbits will skate towards the left corner. as Greenville gets to Atkinson down the middle of the ice. High slot, lefty shot that goes wide. Puck ricochets off the end boards. Rebound, and Greenville couldn't come up with it. Grizzlies will skate towards the near side. Jalot gets belted as he was exiting to neutral ice. As Friesen dumps it in. Greenville chasing after it. Grizzlies 18 shots. Greenville with 11. So Utah with a strong 7-1 edge here so far in the second period. Swamp Rabbits deep in their own zone. They skate from right to left during the period. 11-11 left on a moving clock second period. Greenville crosses center ice. Masher Donato crosses center. Now he'll move to his right. Steps over the line, stops on the right point, but the Swamp Rabbits are offside with 11:05 left in the second. Make sure to join us tomorrow night as the Grizzlies will be in Atlanta to take on the Gladiators. Coverage begins at 4:45. We're back in 1 minute. We're tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 8-2 in the second period. We're still tied at 1 as Garrett Pike has Utah's lone goal. Back after this.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
We're tied at 1 with 11:05 left in the second period. Grizzlies 18 shots, Swamp Rabbits 12. Utah's outshot Greenville 6-2 so far in the second period. Luke Salem leads the Grizzlies with 5 shots. Pike, Genev each have 3 shots. Christian Felton and Griffin Ness have 2 shots, as Ness had 2 pretty good looks earlier in the second period. He was denied both times by Matthias Scholl. Opening night over in Greenville as the Grizzlies begin their final hunt for a Kelly Cup. Draw at neutral ice is won by the Swamp Rabbits. Messner's out there with Lebster and Tyler Gratton. As behind the net, behind Utah's net, McKay looks over his left shoulder as Felton and Pike in a 2-on-2 battle with Swamp Rabbits. Puck slides towards the left corner. Loose puck. Grizzlies trying to come up with it. Swamp Rabbits will bounce it into the right corner. Does number 19, Ryan O'Reilly, who's a big 6'3", 220-pound forward. Swamp Rabbits out towards the far point. Grizzlies clear it back to center ice. Atkinson, Josh's first name, will get it back towards Tristan DeYoung. DeYoung, a first-year pro. He'll get it ahead as the Swamp Rabbits. Keaton Mastrodonato will skate across the offensive line. Stops in the corner. Actually, it's Tate Singleton, number 9. Singleton waves his arms in the air, and all he's going to get. Well, it looked like he tried to purchase a penalty, and the official bought it. As Tyler Gratton kind of held up Singleton. Singleton waved both arms in the air to try to draw the penalty, and it worked. 2 minutes for hooking, and the Swamp Rabbits will go on the power play for the first time tonight with 10:20 left in the second. As Tyler Gratton sporting a goatee, as he's wearing number 59. He led Reading with 20 goals last year. He finished his college career at Arizona State University. Before that, played at Penn State University, where he was a teammate with Danny Genev. So Gratton's in the box talking with a balding gentleman as those two have a conversation. Not sure they know each other all that well. It's a 2-minute Greenville power play. And we don't know too many of the Swamp Rabbits, but we do know to keep an eye out for Keaton Mastrodonato. He led the Grizzlies in power play assists last season. Puck is won by Greenville. So Swamp Rabbits throw it to the middle of the ice. Grizzlies picking off, and Garrett Pike pitchforks it all the way deep into the Swamp Rabbits zone. Josh Atkinson will get it from Matthias Scholl, who drops it off. Atkinson will race out to neutral ice as the Swamp Rabbits out to center. Now they cross center ice. Skating over the offensive line. Kenta Iso guy. Looks like the whistle blows. Good job by the Grizzlies at the blue line, forcing Greenville to go around him as the Swamp Rabbits are offside. Like Greensville has been called for offside quite a bit here so far tonight. Keep calling them Greensville. There is no S in Greenville. Neutral zone draw. Messner will take it against Hudson Shondor. Shondor's got an AHL contract with Ontario. Shondor's kicked out of the face-off circle, and Mastrodonato will take the draw. As those two look at each other, there might be a few words being exchanged. Mastrodonato, wearing number 8, third-year pro, was one of the Grizzlies' best forwards last season. Messner wins the face-off. Remember, Mick Messner is an expert at getting good chances shorthanded. Grizzlies dump it all the way deep into the Greenville zone. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the second period. Atkinson crosses center ice, fakes the pass behind him, and they'll nudge it ahead looking for Mastrodonato. Pass goes incomplete. As the Grizzlies back to neutralize, but it's Greenville with the puck as Messner looked at his ankle trying to find it. As Tate Singleton over the offensive line skates down the middle, he gets it knifed away, and the Grizzlies will clear it out. As Scholl plays it behind his net, he'll drop it off for Atkinson. As the Grizzlies get 4 fresh tires on their penalty kill. As Greenville's party of 5 crosses center ice. Swamp Rabbits step over the offensive line, and dumping it in is Austin Saint, number 91, out of Alberta. As the Swamp Rabbits push it back to the right point, somebody off the screen gets it to the left side for Murray. Murray to Saint, back to Murray, left point. He'll move it to his right. Swamp Rabbits skate towards the right circle, and then they get to the right goal line. Lefty shot saved by McKay. Everybody hacking away. Grizzlies skate towards the end boards, and they try to clear it out, but it stays in right point. Murray fires a lefty shot, and it gets redirected, and it goes wide. As the Swamp Rabbits throw it behind Utah's net, Gansky gets it, and he'll wheel it along the wall, and it goes all the way deep into the Swamp Rabbits zone. 15 seconds left in the Swamp Rabbits power plays. We're still tied at 1 with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left on a moving clock. Swamp Rabbits Murray will get it to his right. Greenville over the line. They are onside. Saint left point. He'll fire a shot, and that's blocked away by Gansky. Coming out of the box is Gratton. He joins the play. Grizzlies get it to Gratton right side. Gratton will backhand it. His eyes were looking for a cutter down the middle of the ice, and that was Gansky who couldn't reach it. And if he can't reach it, nobody can with his long stick. Ricketts with the puck. He dances around the left point. Ricketts will throw it to somebody who just came on the ice as Grizzlies roll it along the near wing wall and chase after it. Genev in the area at the right point, trying to hold his ground as the puck bounces a few times. Stays in the zone as Genev collides with Jordan Power. Now the puck goes around the boards. Ricketts runs it down in the left corner, dancing around. He's a pretty good skater. Drops it for Gratton. Gratton with a tough angled shot, saved by Scholl. He holds on with 7:37 left in the second. Boy, good penalty kill by the Grizzlies. Both teams have to like their defensive effort so far. Timeout on the ice. We're tied at 1 on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Everybody's having a good time tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Swamp Rabbits. We were past the halfway point of the scheduled 60-minute affair. Both goals came in the first period. Greenville got on the board 5:18 in as Cam Hausinger got his first of the year with Power, and Peterson gained the assist. Utah answered 6:29 in as Pike got his first of the year with Mick Messner gained the assist. Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 19-13 as we're back to live action. Back behind the net, we're on a remote broadcast, and do be please, we ask for a little bit of patience. We're at the mercy of this one camera feed tonight as Greenville crossed the center ice. They tried to dump it in. They bounced it off of Friesen as the Swamp Rabbits now back at their blue line. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the second period. Up ahead, Swamp Rabbits over the attack line as Ryan O'Hara, number 20, skates towards the right point, dumps it around. As Manning in the area, Greenville with the puck at the right goal line. They skate towards the corner as Pike gives a member of the Swamp Rabbits a rough ride. Now back to the left point. Cam Hausinger, who might be Greenville's best forward tonight, will bounce it off a Grizzly as a scrum, and as the puck goes out to neutral ice. Genev, who's been lightning for the Grizzlies, gets to the Greenville line, but the Swamp Rabbits get it back. Genev comes off the ice for a change. Cam Hausinger, the former Indy Fuel skater, also spent some time with Chicago in the AHL. As the Swamp Rabbits will lose the puck. Grizzlies back to the right side. Messner over the line will skate towards the corner. He gets a rough ride from Atkinson. Gratton gets hit along the boards by Tristan DeYoung behind Greenville's net. Messner will bounce it off the near wing wall, but it goes out of the zone as Gansky will run after it. Gansky gets the puck, and he will skate around McKay's net. Gansky's a pretty good skater for a guy that's about 6'6" or 6'7". Grizzlies over the line as Messner skates towards the left side now to the corner. Messner retreats, gets it back as he gets the Lebster, pushes it up top. As Grizzlies get pushed out to neutral ice, loose puck. Gansky will get there before a Swamp Rabbit. Gansky back around the net as he's being chased by Stepan Timofeyev, the former Norfolk Admiral. Lebster steps over the offensive blue, skates towards a high slot, fires a righty prayer that's kicked away by Scholl. As the Swamp Rabbits come back the other way. Grizzlies back defensively. Greenville enters. As they try to dump it in, it didn't get very far, and the puck is swept towards Dryden McKay, who will cover up in the crease and hold on as there's 5:32 left in the second period. We'll come back in 1 minute. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
.532 is the time remaining here in the second period as we're tied at 1. Nobody has scored here so far in the middle frame. Grizzlies 12 shots in the first period, 8 so far in the second. Swamp Rabbits 10 shots in the first period and 4 in the second. It's going to be a busy weekend for the Grizzlies. They will be in Atlanta, or the Gwinnett area, a suburb of Atlanta, as they will face the Atlanta Gladiators tomorrow night, 5:10 face-off. And then Sunday afternoon, they'll also face the Gladiators as well. As Greenville with the puck, as we're skating 5-on-5, as now Greenville down the middle of the ice will get to Masha Donato. I try to feather it back across. The Maestro looked like he had some shooting range, but looked like he made the unselfish play, but just didn't have anything there with traffic on the other side. Grizzlies cross center ice. As a camera operator having a tough time finding the puck, so we have a tough time as well. Swamp Rabbits spread the ice. We are on a remote broadcast, so be patient with us as we're at the mercy of the camera operator. And it looks like the second period has been Tulsa Oilers camera operators. If you know, you know. Swamp Rabbits with the puck. They will nudge it out to center ice. Swamp Rabbits trying to cross the offensive line, but Ryan O'Reilly lost control of the puck. Now the Swamp Rabbits dump it back in as Masha Donato with a good shoulder check on Colby Enns in his second pro game, first Grizzly game for Enns. He spent one game with Iowa at the end of last year. Shea gets it ahead looking for Manning. It goes past him. Manning and Voigt chase after it as the Swamp Rabbits come out with the puck. Isogai, Kenta's his first name, out of Japan, gets it to the right corner as Pike gets held up from behind by a Swamp Rabbit. Timofeyev loses the puck. Grizzlies back the other way. At neutral ice, Felton one-handed ahead. Manning's got the puck, skates towards the right side, stops. Manning gets it across to Felton off his skate. Arm is raised by the referee. Felton backhands it out in front. Grizzlies battle, about 3 players both sides. Puck is touched up. We get a penalty. I think it's going to be on the Swamp Rabbits. 3:59 left in the second period. And it looks like it's going to be a Swamp Rabbit going to the box. Number 17, Hudson Shandor, Schandor, who's a first-year pro. He's got an AHL contract with Ontario. We didn't get to see the referee signal, but Shandor's in the box, and the Grizzlies get their third power play of the night. Utah will have Tyler Gratton take the face-off. He's out there with Neil Shea and Reed Lebster. Up top is Ty Voigt, and I think the defenseman will be Garrett Pike, but he's off the screen right now. We'll see if the Grizzlies can get their first power play goal of the season. Maybe for Utah, third time's a charm. Watch out for Grattan in front of the net. He's kicked out of the faceoff circle. Webster will take the draw. Neil Shea had a successful year on the power play for the Grizzlies last season. Garrett Pike kind of takes Derek Daschke's spot on this top power play unit, quarterbacking the power play. As Greenville wins the draw, and Atkinson whips the puck around the boards as it rolls along the near wing wall. Grizzlies skate from left to right here in the period. Pike gets it to Voigt, as Voigt will let it go to Shea, who crosses center ice. Puck glides along the near wing wall, and Greenville will tap it away from Shea. Grizzlies enter. Voigt from the left side stops on a dime, dangles back and forth, fires into Grattan. Grattan gets occupied, trying to get a lefty shot off, but he didn't have enough time and space to get one off. As Voigt gets hit, puck goes up top. We believe Pike has the puck off the screen. He gets to Webster, over to Grattan. One-timer, saved by Scholl. Boy, Grattan had didn't have much room, but he was able to get a good shot off. Grattan gets the puck. He's back to the right side. As now he'll skate towards the left circle. Grattan tried to feather one towards Webster. It gets bounced by Greenville. Voigt with the puck on the right side. He gets to the left wing. Pike fakes a shot, collects it. Now he gets to Shea in the left wing. Shea to Webster. He's at the far goal line. He'll take a righty shot, saved by Scholl, and he holds on. 2:59 left in the second. Exactly 1 minute left in the power play. Good job by the Grizzlies rolling the puck around. Boy, Tyler Grattan, he had a pretty good look from the left wing, and he had a Swamp Rabbit all over him like a cheap suit, and he didn't have a whole lot of room to get the shot off. Couldn't get a follow-through, but he was able to get quite a blast onto Scholl, who made the save. So Grizzlies have had some pretty good looks in the second period. Ness had a couple good looks a few minutes ago, and Grattan with a good look on the power play. Matthias Scholl, the Greenville goaltender, has done a good job controlling rebounds. Grizzlies made a line change. Genev's out there with Ricketts. Manning, I think Messner's taking the face off, and up top is a defenseman. Can't tell who it is. As they're off the screen, Utah wins the draw. And it looks like it's Salem who's out there for the Grizzlies. As Manning gets pushed along the far wing boards, and Greenville will get it past Salem, and it goes all the way down deep into the Grizzlies zone. Dryden McKay's had a good night in net, as he will drop it behind his net, and he'll push it to his right about 5 feet. As Ricketts gets the puck wearing number 28. Ricketts will drop it out to the left side. Now back behind the screen. It's taken by Luke Manning. Manning crosses center ice. Less than half a minute left in the power play. Manning skates towards the right corner. Centering pass on bounced off a Scholl, as Grizzlies are able to keep it in the high slot. Now Messner skates towards the right circle, dangles back and forth, stops, gets up top to Salem. Salem fires towards the net, and it's blocked away as it goes out to neutral ice. Grizzlies reset. 10 seconds left in the power play. Utah gets to Messner on side, or make that Ricketts. Across to Salem, left side, he fires towards the net, and it goes off the Scholl. As looking for the redirection was Christian Felton. Back to full strength. The Grizzly goes down on the right side. Is that going to be another power play for the Grizzlies? Boy, a Grizzly player went down in the corner, and now it looks like a Swamp Rabbit is trying to get McMessner to lose his cool, and that's Modry. As I wonder if Utah's going to get another power play. As a Swamp Rabbit goes down, Jordan Power has a couple adjectives for the referee, and it looks like it might be another Utah power play. That would be their fourth of the night. Utah's outshot Greenville 24-14. Brent Peterson probably letting the referee know about the power play discrepancy. And the referee's like, yeah, but you can't commit penalties. I'm going to make the call. As Peterson talking with referee Chaz Noche. Actually, oddly enough, Noche is number 33 in your program and number 3 on the roster sheet. However, this referee is listed at number 32. It looks like Peterson and the referee continue to have some heated words. In the box right now is Jordan Power. And so it looks like Utah is going to get another power play here late in the second period. There's 1:54 left in the second frame. As the Grizzlies will have Tyler Grattan take the drives out there with Shea Webster, Voigt, and Garrett Pike. That's a party of 5 on the power play. Greenville whips it along the near wing wall. Pike gets the puck. Watch out for Pike on the power play. Could be a guy that can contribute from the blue line. Voigt loses the puck. As Cam Hausinger with it. He's on the right side. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by McKay as it bounced off his chest. Getting the rebounds, Garrett Pike. Pike races to neutralize. Now he drops it off. Grizzlies get it to the right wing as Gratton over to Pike onside. Pike throws to the high slots, taken by Lepster off a Greenville stick to Shea, left wing. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. Puck back to the right point. Pike with the puck. He'll move to his left. Now he gets to Shea, left circle. Shea with the lefty shot. Rebound shot by Voigt. Oh, I couldn't get one off, and Greenville smothers him. And the Swamp Rabbits will bounce it off the near glass, and it goes into the Grizzlies zone. Boy, if Voigt would have found a way to collect it cleanly on the right side, he had pretty much an open net. But by the time he was able to gather the puck after bobbling it, as Pike goes down, boy, what a crazy play. It looked like a Swamp Rabbit. Action's coming back into the Greenville zone. They stop play. Boy, Pike went heels over head as a Swamp Rabbit kind of did a little bit of a suplex. Pike just went tumbling, and the whistle blew. I wonder who the penalty is going to be on. Is it going to be another one on Greenville? What a crazy play as Pike was in the Grizzlies zone, and then all of a sudden you just see him topple over as he just kind of went over the shoulders of a Swamp Rabbit. There's 50 seconds left in the second period. And we'll see, unfortunately, we just get a graphic that says opening night. Thanks for reminding us. Looks like Mick Messner and Brent Peterson are talking things over. Looks like the Swamp Rabbits have not picked a captain to wear the C, but they do have 3 alternate captains. Peterson, Mastrodonato, and Josh Atkinson. Mick Messner is wearing the captain C for the Grizzlies, and he has done so since the middle portion of last year. Chaz Noche is talking things over with Quinn Schaefer. So the power play has 56 seconds left in it, but I wonder what call gets made with Pike. Now Noche's talking with the scores keepers at center ice. I wish they'd show a replay of Pike. It looked like Pike just kind of went heels over head and then hit the ice. I wonder how that happened. So the referee's making a couple signals. Draw's going to be at neutral ice. I guess both fouls offset. We replay first down, so to speak. Messner will take the drives out there with Genev and Manning. Grizzlies do have a lot of team speed. They might not be one of the bigger teams in the league outside of Gansky, Gratton, and a few others. As Greensville wins the neutral zone draw. Once again, there's Greensville with an S, as it's not in their name. As Ricketts with the puck, we're having some fun on a Friday night, opening night, as the Grizzlies, Mick Messner steps over the offensive line, right side, dumps it into the corner, gets around one Swamp Rabbit, chases after. He gets there about the same time as the Swamp Rabbit. Utah spins it back to the right point for Genev. He dances around right side. Genev, toe drag, lefty shot, saved by Scholl, and he will hold on. Oh, that was a bit of a change-up and a crafty one by Genev. Scholl was able to get his blocker on it as the puck bounced in the crease, and he was able to cover up with 28.7 seconds left in the second. Well, I'm really excited about Danny Genev. He's not a very big guy, maybe about 5'5", 5'6", but holy cow, is he quick. He's got a great first step, and he's a smart hockey player as well. What a great addition by John Buchanan and the Director of Hockey Operations, Eric Hudson, in picking him up. Messner will take the draw. Salem's out there along with Manning, Genev, and Ricketts as Greensville wins the draw. Once again, there's Greenville with an S. It's not in their name. As Manning gets held up in the left point, Ricketts will throw it back to Salem at neutral ice. Grizzlies tag up. Salem over to Genev, who throws it to the middle of the ice. Messner, backhand shot, and that one is chipped away by maybe a stick in front of Scholl. Now left side, lefty shot, saved by Scholl. Boy, Scholl stood on his head here in the second period. 3 seconds left in the frame. Wraparound by Manning. That's kicked away at the buzzer. Lefty shot, and it goes wide by Salem. As that will do it for 40 minutes of play. And it's the Matthias Scholl show as Scholl saved one after another. Neither team scored in the second period. Grizzlies had more good looks than the Swamp Rabbits, and yet we're still tied at 1 after 40 minutes of play. For what it's worth, it looks like the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first second of the third period. Boy, a lot of good chances by the Grizzlies, and Utah with a lot of power plays. 4 power plays for Utah. They had some good looks, but just couldn't find a way to get to the back of the net. Well, John Buchanan's either going to get his first professional win as a head coach, or it's going to be Chad Costello in his Swamp Rabbits debut getting his first victory in Greenville. When we come back, we will go over the stats from the first two periods, and also we will check in on some NHL and ECHL scores. After 40 minutes of play, it's the Utah Grizzlies won and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits won. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
After 40 minutes of play, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits and Utah Grizzlies are tied at 1. It looks like they've got their version of a chuck-a-puck over in Greenville. They've got a trophy, and I imagine if you get your chuck-a-puck into that trophy, you are the grand prize winner. And there's that. They were trying to figure out what the mascot looked like, and if you're watching on Flow Sports, that's it right there. Kind of a standard-looking rabbit. There's no doubt that over the next 6 months, I'd like to do a collaboration with Tusky, the newest addition to the National Hockey League. I mean, could we get Tusky and Grisby together in the same room? I have no clue what would happen, but I'm pretty sure hilarity would ensue. Well, the Grizzlies had a ton of chances in the second period, but Matthias Scholl, the Greenville goaltender, well, he was standing on his head. And for the Grizzlies, you're talking about 4 power play opportunities, 1 in the first period, 3 more in the second, and just did everything but score a goal. As Utah is 0 for 4 on the power play, Greenville is 0 for 1. Neither team scored in the second period, but the Grizzlies outshot the Swamp Rabbits 15-5. And through the first 2 periods, Utah has a 27-15 edge in the shot count. Greenville got on the board first, 5:18 in, as Cam Hausinger, who looks like Greenville's best forward. He's been outstanding. He's played a strong two-way game. He plays with a ton of spirit and spunk, and we saw that when the Indy Fuel were here last year, as he didn't necessarily make many friends and fans with Grizzlies supporters. That was about Thanksgiving week last week when the Fuel were in town. Hausinger apparently redirected a power shot as Jordan Power was over in the left point, fired towards the net. If Hausinger got a piece of it, you can argue that it was played with a high stick, as he did have his stick pretty high in the air near the crease, but nevertheless, the goal counted. And Hausinger got Greenville's first goal of the season with Power and Peterson getting the assists. Utah responded a minute and 11 seconds later, as looks like there's no puck into the center ice trophy, so nobody comes away as the grand prize winner, in case you were wondering. Garrett Pike got Utah on the board, 6:29 into the first as he fired away from the left point. There was traffic in front of the net. Mick Messner got an assist. I believe the 2 guys in front of the net were Lebster and Tyler Gratton. And Garrett Pike's been a standout performer for the Grizzlies so far tonight. He's been outstanding. And if you're thinking about Grizzly defensemen who have had outstanding years, you think back to last season, Derek Dashke was first team All-League. 2 years ago, Josh Wesley was one of the league's best defensemen, and obviously the incredible Charles-Edouard Dastu and Luke Martin and what they did during the 2021-22 season. I think Garrett Pike might be one of those guys that can carry on the mantle and tradition of high-scoring Grizzly defensemen. He's off to a good start with a goal so far tonight, with Messner, the Grizzlies captain, getting the assists. And that's the only 2 goals in the game. Hausinger 5:18 in, and Pike 6:29 into the first period. But the Grizzlies have had a ton of chances. They've outshot the Swamp Rabbits 27-15. And you just love to find a way to get some of those, or at least one, into the back of the net, play with the lead. And the Grizzlies, really with their new defensive identity, that could end up making the difference. Greenville didn't have a whole lot of good chances on Dryden McKay. In fact, didn't really see him much in the second period as the ice seemed to be tilted towards the Greenville end. In terms of shots, Luke Salem leads the Grizzlies with 6 shots. Danny Genev and Tyler Gratton each have 4 shots. Both guys had pretty good looks in the second period. Genev had 1 shot in the second period, and Gratton, I think all 4 of his shots were in the second period. Pike and Lepster each have 3 shots, 2 shots each for Christian Felton and Griffin Ness. Both the Ness's shots came in the first half of the second period, and both of those were really good shots, and they were on the same shift about 5-6 minutes into the second period. As Griffin Ness has certainly played a strong game, and really for the Grizzlies, I think you'll pretty much like the effort, especially defensively. Just would love to find a way to pick up a goal, as Matthias Scholl has really stood on his head, and in particular in that second period, as he saved all 15 Grizzly shots in the middle frame, and we'll see what happens here in the third. Grizzlies will be on the power play for the first. The Powers penalty was a cross-check 18:06 into the second period. If my Kern's high math is correct, Grizzlies have 6 seconds left on a power play, even though the scorebug graphic said that Utah has 1 second left on a power play. So that's the story through 40 minutes of play. It's John Buchanan's in his Grizzlies head coaching debut. He's the 9th head coach in Grizzlies history, and he's looking for his first win as he is making his professional debut. And on the Greenville side, Chad Costello looking for a win in his Swamp Rabbits head coaching debut. Let's go over some scores from around the league. Reading leads Trois-Rivières 3-2 after 2 periods. Trois-Rivières, the defending Kelly Cup champions. Fort Wayne leads Indy 3-0, as Fort Wayne has goals from 3 different players. Also after 2 periods, Florida leads Orlando 3-1. Former Grizzly defenseman J.C. Broussard has the lone goal for the Solar Bears. After 40 minutes of play, Norfolk leads Savannah 2-1. Ben Zalotti has one of the Norfolk goals. Brodzinski found the back of the net for the Swamp Rabbits. After 1 period, Nelson has a goal for Tulsa as the Oilers lead the Heartlanders 1-0. And also after 1 period at Cable Dahmer Arena, David Cotton and Nolan Sullivan have goals, and Blake Bennett has the Rapid City tally as Kansas City leads Rapid City 2-1. And getting underway in just over an hour from now, the Tahoe Night Monsters host the Idaho Steelheads. As they show a highlight of the first period goal by Hausinger, Dryden McKay lifted his right stick up as to indicate that it was played with a high stick, but they say the goal counted. They went to video replay, and based on the one look, which was a close-up behind the net, you couldn't really tell. They did give Hausinger the goal, which is certainly interesting. And if he did indeed get credited with the goal, Dryden McKay probably has a point that, where did the puck end up bouncing off a Hausinger stick and whether it was high or not. But nevertheless, Swamp Rabbits did get credited with the goal, and the Grizzlies responded a minute and 11 seconds later. When we come back, we'll go over some NHL scores as we're tied at 1 after 40 minutes of play. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Second intermission over at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. Grizzlies, it's the only time the Grizzlies will be there. Greenville will be at Maverick Center for a 3-game series on January 28th, 30th, and 31st. And yes, if you're watching on YouTube, don't adjust your screen. It is pretty dark as one of the 2 lamps that I used last season is gone missing. It's mysteriously disappeared. So we're just down to 1 lamp, and luckily we got enough light to be able to tune in for this game. Only a handful of games in the National Hockey League on this Friday night. Getting underway in about 10 minutes from now over at Delta Center, the team in rock black, salt white, and mountain blue will be in action as the Utah Mammoth takes on the San Jose Sharks. Mammoth are 2-2 on the year. Sharks are 0-1-2. Other games in action in the National Hockey League. After 2 periods, Red Wings lead the Lightning 1-0, and after 2 periods, Capitals lead the Wild 2-1. Capitals have outshot the Wild 24-6. And halfway through the first period, no score between the Canucks and the Blackhawks, as Chicago has outshot Vancouver 8-2. For the Grizzlies, their road trip continues tomorrow night. 4:45 pregame show, 5:10 face-off as the Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators. Not many familiar names on the Atlanta roster. We'll certainly get to know them over the next couple days. And then Sunday afternoon, it will be a 1:10 Mountain Time Zone start. In the 2 baseball games today, in the bottom of the 8th inning, Toronto and Seattle are tied at 2, and it's the pivotal Game 5 of the best-of-7 series, as the series is tied at 2 games apiece. And bottom of the first inning, Dodgers lead the Brewers 3-0. A Dodgers victory means that they will be back in the World Series for the 2nd straight year. College football action today. Early 3rd quarter, Louisville has a 10-0 lead over 2nd-ranked Miami. That would certainly be a huge upset, although Louisville is 4-1 on the season. Miami is 5-0. 11 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Minnesota leads 25th-ranked Nebraska 7-3. Getting underway at 7 o'clock, San Jose State is at Utah State. That game is played in Logan. Utah State's 3-3 on the year. San Jose State is 2-4. The Aggies are a 3-point favorite. And at 8:30, Bill Belichick's North Carolina Tar Heels are taking on Cal. Cal is a 7.5-point favorite. Cal is 4-2 on the year. North Carolina is 2-3. And the Utah Royals are in action at 8 o'clock as they take on the Reign, the Seattle Reign. It's been a tough year for Utah, though, as the Royals so far this season are 5-7-12. That's right, 12 of their 24 games have been decided in a tie, or I think in soccer they call it a draw. A lot of fans there at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena. They were hoping for a sellout, and it looks like they may have gotten it. If I remember right, there was a lot more red in the building at Bon Secure's Wellness Arena than it was 5 years ago. It looks like they've renovated the place. And with that being the downtown arena, they get a lot of the big events. Every now and then, the NCAA basketball tournament ends up in Greenville, and a lot of neutral site college basketball games end up getting played at that site. Grizzlies are there. It's the only time they've visited Greenville. Utah is 2-0 all time against Greenville. They're looking to make it 3-0, and we'll have 3rd period action on the other side. Utah will be on the power play for maybe the first 6 seconds of the third period, and then we will skate 5-on-5. Garrett Pike has Utah's lone goal. That was 6:29 into the first period. Cam Hausinger with Greenville's only goal. That came a minute and 11 earlier, and that was 5:18 into the first period. We'll see what happens here in the third. Buckle up, as it's going to be a fun final 20 minutes of regulation, and who knows, this game may end up going past in regulation and going into overtime. We'll have the third period on the other side. You've been tuned into the second intermission report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
We're about set for third period action as the Grizzlies and Swamp Rabbits are tied at 1, and we're certainly thinking about Kevin Bruder here tonight, as it's the first Grizzlies game in the regular season since he passed away on May 11th. All the game pucks are going to be played with this season during Grizzlies home games will have his name. And unfortunately, we have not gotten a close-up shot on too many Grizzlies tonight, but I believe there's a helmet sticker on the back of all Grizzlies helmets that have the initials KB on it. And hopefully the Grizzlies tonight will win one for Kevin Bruder, and hopefully this will be a successful final season as we honor Kevin Bruder all season long. And there was another replay. If Hausinger did get a piece of it, that stick did look like it was pretty high, but it doesn't really matter now as the goal did count. There's no way that if Hausinger did get credited with the goal, if he got a piece of it, then yeah, that was, it looked like it was pretty high and Dryden McKay would have had a case. Nevertheless, the goal counted, and doesn't really matter now. Like, Grizzlies had some pretty good looks. There was Gansky in the first period trying to feed it ahead as they show a highlight package of Matthias Scholl, who really has stood it on his head. He saved all 15 Grizzly shots in the second period. So we'll see what happens here in the third. Grizzlies did play quite a few close games last season, and Grizzlies actually held their own pretty decently in one-goal games last year. So we're about set for third period action. We'll see what happens as Scholl has been a brick wall in net for Greenville, and Dryden McKay so far has saved 14 of 15 as he's facing his former teammates. He was a Swamp Rabbit last year. Ryan O'Reilly will take the draw for Greenville against Luke Manning. Manning wearing number 16, second full year as a Grizzly. And Utah wins the draw as they pitch it ahead to Neil Shea. And the power play is over as Shea whips it around the boards. We're skating 5-on-5. Voigt gets hit in the right shoulder by a Swamp Rabbit as Greenville bounces off the near wall. Swamp Rabbit skate from left to right as we see it from Flow Sports, and the Grizzlies skate from right to left. Greenville crosses center ice. Left wing pass goes between the legs of a Swamp Rabbit. It goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Grizzlies sidestep a check as the Swamp Rabbits get it back towards Tate Singleton. He's on the left side. He'll drop it off as the Swamp Rabbits trying to get it back towards the left circle. Now there's a turnover. Greenville back towards the right side. Righty shot saved by McKay. Rebound goes to Utah. Ty Voigt will bounce it off the Swamp Rabbit at center ice. Greenville gets cut off by a Grizzly. Puck is taken back by the Swamp Rabbits, who back it out into their own zone. Modry will drop it off. As taking the puck is Tristan DeYoung, who's 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Ontario. He holds on to the puck as the Swamp Rabbits spread the ice. Reed Lepster in front of the Greenville goaltender. He's out there with Gratton and Messner. Right wing feed as the Swamp Rabbits throw it from blue line to blue line. He goes wide of the mark as McKay will throw it into the near corner as action deep in the Grizzlies zone. Scrum along the wall as Messner delivers a blow. Greenville centers it out in front, and the pass misconnects. Grizzlies come back the other side. Salem with good speed. Steps over the offensive blue as he gets dragged down to the near goal line by DeYoung. No call on the play. Grizzlies have had 4 power plays to Greensville's 1 through 2 periods. Grizzlies with the puck as they'll peel back into their own zone as Utah's Noah Gansky with a long-range feed. And it goes past everybody. Messner chasing after it as he battles with DeYoung. Messner comes out with the puck, trying to center it towards Gratton and bounced off a Greenville stick. Now Messner trying to force one out in front, and it goes all the way up top. Greenville gets it. They'll cross center ice 2-on-3. Swamp Rapids dump it in as Winslow gets the puck, and he gets double-teamed along the boards. Winslow breaks free as he now has the puck in the near corner. He gets it, and he'll push it ahead about 10 feet to Shea. Shea will roll it near the Greenville bench as Friesen tries to get around a Swamp Rabbit, and that's Jake Murray, who spent all 72 games last year with the Bloomington Bison. Right wing feed is a long-range one, and dumping it in is Patrick Polino, number 72, the former Cincinnati Cyclone. The Cyclone's former head coach. Jason Payne's now the assistant coach in Greenville. Shots kicked away as the Grizzlies back around the net as Ness gets hit along the boards. Loose puck to the right wing, and it's taken by the Swamp Rabbits as Greenville throws it back around the wall as it's pitchforked ahead by Winslow. The puck goes deep into the Swamp Rabbit zone. No icing on the play. John Gillette delivers a belt on Tim Lovell, number 43 of Greenville. Now the puck back at neutral ice. Grizzlies in control. Felt will move it ahead to Ness. Ness bobbles it off his stick. He regathers it and gets it back to Pike. Pike slides it ahead left wing to Genev. Genev overskates it as he got nudged in the side by Cam Hausinger. Boy, Hausinger's been everywhere for the Swamp Rabbits tonight. As Greenville back around their net, Modry will move it to the far corner. Now the Swamp Rabbits will bounce one to neutral ice as Greenville gets the puck. They dance around as Jack Brackett will throw it towards the left side as Felton holds up a Swamp Rabbit. As back behind the net, McKay looks over his right shoulder. Grizzlies will push it ahead. Utah 3-on-3 with controls. They try to get to the left wing for Ricketts. He couldn't reach it. Voigt fanned on getting it towards the Greenville bench. Now Swamp Rabbits 3-on-2. Swamp Rabbits dropping off down the middle of the ice. Lefty shot. And that one goes wide as McKay stuck his left glove out, but the shot went wide. Genev over to Voigt. Voigt will bounce one to the right side. Grizzlies fire towards the net. Saved by Scholl. And it looks like he holds on with 16-12 left in the third. So Grizzlies up to 28 shots. Swamp Rabbits have taken 15. And Utah certainly has had their fair share of good chances. But I got to say, there's a lot of optimism with this Grizzlies club. You know, they're very deep in the forward spots. And even though it's just about completely different defensive unit, in fact, it is a new defensive unit pretty much. You know, Utah's really held their own. Grizzlies are probably without arguably their best defenseman in Aiden Hansen-Bukata, the Ohio State product. Hopefully he'll be back at some point either in this road trip or next week. And Grizzlies also without Luke Lemasters celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Luke. As Greenville comes up with the puck, they got a 4-on-2 if they want it. Masher Donato on the right side, moves it to the left. Lefty shot, and that one's blocked away as a stick broke, as that's the second time Greenville's equipment's let them down. Grizzlies slide a left wing pass, tape to Shea, crosses center ice and bounces one in. As Shea got belted by Tristan DeYoung. As Luke Manning chases after it, puck slides towards the far wing wall. Greenville comes up with it. Rink wide feed to Masher Donato. He gets it off the wall right wing, but it looks like he's offside as he tried to get it off the boards, but it looked like Masher Donato entered the zone before the puck did, as he just overskated it, and offside is the call with 15:37 left in the third. Actually, it looks like they're going to call an icing as the draw is going to come all the way down into the Greenville zone. Swamp Rabbits have home games coming up on Sunday against the South Carolina Stingrays. They also will host the Jacksonville Icemen on October 24th. And don't forget the Grizzlies home opener is going to be on Saturday, October 25th as they take on the Idaho Steelheads. And then the Jacksonville Icemen will be in for a 3-game set, October 29th, 30th, and 31st. Draws in the right wing, and it's Mick Messner taking the face off, but it's won by Greenville as Tim Lavelle skates behind the net. He's a good skater. He left wings a long-range pass out, tape to a Swamp Rabbit. Now back to the right side, but the Swamp Rabbits are once again offsides. We've seen a high number of Greenville offsides here tonight. 15:28 is the time remaining in the third period. Opening night, 2025-26 season for the Utah Grizzlies. It's the final opener in team history. Don't forget to join us 8 days from now for the final home opener in team history. That's against the arch rival Idaho Steelheads. So draw at New Trice is won by Greenville. As they enter the zone, Christian Felton delivers a good check as the puck slides towards the left corner. Grizzlies skate from right to left in the period. Swamp Rabbits back behind the net, but it looked like a Swamp Rabbit, and Iso guy cut in front of the net, now back up top. Left side, dancing around, spinning around, Tim Lavelle. We mentioned he's an outstanding skater. He puts it on display. Skates towards the right point, nudges ahead. Centering pass out to the high slots, picked off by Pike. Pike dumps it in. Messner gets behind the Greenville defense. No icing on the play. Messner gets the puck, gets towards the right side, and Lepster with a shot, and that's blocked. Now Grizzlies get it back towards the left corner. Utah feeds up top. Salem whips it along the boards, back behind the net. A Grizzly goes down as Lavelle tumbles over them. Grizzlies back towards the left corner. Grattan gets held up by a Swamp Rabbit. Messner and Lepster join the play over in the corner. 3-on-3 scrum. Messner gets physical. Puck slides behind Greenville's net. Running it down is Kenta Isogai, native of Nagano, Japan. I think Nagano hosted the 1998 Olympics. Puck ends up back to the right side at center ice, crossing center and whipping around the wall boards is Hudson Shondor. As the Grizzlies dance around in their own zone. 14:08 on the moving clock, third period. Grizzlies cross center ice as Felton over the offensive line throws it back up top to somebody off the screen, and that's Voigt. Voigt fires towards the net. It got redirected and it goes wide. Felton back to the left side, now down the middle of the ice. Voigt takes a righty shot, and it's blocked, and it deflects out of play. Boy, that shot was blocked by Jordan Power, who's made a strong first impression for the Swamp Rabbits this season. 13:50 left in the third. Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 28-15, but we're tied at 1 on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the best for less sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on a set of 4 tires. Choose from a wide selection of our longest lasting, best performing tires, and every tire is covered by America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. It's our best deal on our best tires with the best service in the business. Get more from less.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
We're tied at 1, 13:50 left in the third period. Well, you almost have that feeling that with it being as much of a defensive battle, that whoever scores next will win, regardless of when that is. Both teams have really been on point defensively, drawing the Greenville zone, and it goes past Noah Gansky. He runs it down to the Utah end. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it from Flow Sports. As Gansky go bouncing off the wall. Now he gets it back on a give and go, but it goes past into the left side. Friesen trying to get it to Gansky, but a Swamp Rabbit stick got in the way. Now loose puck towards the left corner, which is the near side of the Greenville zone. Jalot gets hit. Puck slides to the right side. Righty shot goes wide. Boy, Grizzly just did a drive-by. We couldn't tell who that was. They exited the screen about as quickly as they got on it. I think that might have been Noah Gansky, number 21. The Swamp Rabbits dropping off. Right side, Polino, righty shot goes wide. Not sure if McKay got a piece of it. Now back to the left wing, dancing around. DeYoung fires towards the net. It goes wide. McKay trying to find the puck. It goes towards the far corner. Evan Friesen gets it as he dances around, spins. Now he throws it back across as Luke Salem will tap it off the glass, and it goes to neutral ice and into the Swamp Rabbit zone. No icing as the Swamp Rabbits will run it down. Grizzlies make a full line change. 12:49 on the moving clock, third period. Swamp Rabbits get it towards Austin Saint. He overskates it. Grizzlies at the center ice for Genev. He crosses center ice, drops it for Ricketts, who overskates it. Swamp Rabbits will bounce one to center ice. Greenville enters from the left wing. Grizzlies back defensively. Saint skates towards the right side, tries to split a double team. Ricketts will push it back towards the left wing wall. Now behind the net, Winslow. Collides gets there before a Swamp Rabbit. As the Grizzlies will nudge it out to center ice, racing after it. Center ice is Ricketts. He one-hands it in, gets around 2 Swamp Rabbits, skates towards the right corner of the puck. He gets hit in the back by Atkinson along the glass. Left side, Pike fires towards the net and a score! Grizzlies scores. Pike fired a prayer to the net, and Utah takes a 2-1 lead. And I think that's Garrett Pike's second of the game. Boy, have a night, Garrett Pike, as he was over to the left side and just kind of a scramble play, got it, and he just kind of threw a wing and a prayer, didn't really think too much of it, and somehow it found the back of the net. So both of Utah's goals from a similar spot in the left wing, and Pike just beat Scholl stick side. Boy, what a beautiful shot. I'm not sure that Scholl, a Grizzly player cut in front of him, but I think Scholl saw it, and Pike just beat him. So Garrett Pike's on hat trick watch. He has both of Utah's goals. It's Garrett Pike 2 and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits 1. So we'll see if the Grizzlies hold on to this third period lead. Swamp Rabbits, 12 minutes left in the third period, across the center line. It looks like an orange line. Mastrodonato right side fires over the crossbar as he tried to get it high on McKay. Now Mastrodonato gets it back, dances around, and he'll chip it into the right corner. Puck slides along the boards. Obviously an important part of this hockey game. Can the Grizzlies keep their momentum after taking a 2-1 lead? Christian Felton holds his ground as Ty Voigt gets the puck, skates towards neutral ice. Voigt will dump it in. Racing after it's Nil Shea, no icing. As Shea gets the puck in the right corner. Grizzlies looking for some insurance. Over to Voigt. Voigt behind the net, tried to bounce one out in front as he tried to find a cutting McMessner. Greenville picked it off. Grizzlies back defensively. 2-on-3. Greenville over the lines. They skate towards the left corner. Gansky in the area with Messner. Nearby is Luke Salem. Salem comes out of the pile with the puck. Salem pushed it ahead. A Swamp Rabbit cuts him off on the right side. They move it to the right wing. As Greenville, Singleton gets to the left side. Lefty shot saved by McKay. Rebounds taken by Colby Enns. Enns gets hit in the side by Mastrodonato. As puck slides towards the far side, Shea and Mastrodonato almost collided. Those guys were good friends last season. They probably are still good friends. As the Swamp Rabbits regather at neutral ice, they'll pitch it to their right. Tape to Singleton. Singleton with a fancy move as he keeps control of the puck right side. Gets it across. Swamp Rabbits. Sharp angle shot goes wide from the left wing. As Singleton will bounce one across. Swamp Rabbits in the offensive zone about halfway through the third period. Puck around the boards as Winslow will sweep it back towards the far corner. As Grattan in the area collides with the Swamp Rabbit, Utah takes control. Winslow crosses center ice. He'll guide it towards his right as he tried to get to Messner and glanced off his stick. Now the Grizzlies will drive it back in. As puck's behind Greenville's net towards the end boards, the Swamp Rabbit comes up with it. Might be Atkinson. Will fire it off the near wing wall as it goes to Timofeyev. Stepan's his first name, former Norfolk Admiral. His rink-wide feed's picked off by the Grizzlies. Shea over to Grattan over the line is Grattan. Right wing, he'll pitchfork it towards the net. And it's stopped by Scholl, who will drop it to keep the play alive. 9:53 on the moving clock. Utah leads 2-1. Garrett Pike has both of the Grizz goals. As puck chases along the far side. As the Swamp Rabbits get it back to DeYoung. Right wing, slap shot, saved by McKay. And he holds on with 9:40 left in the third. Well, Garrett Pike's got both of Utah's goals. He scored 7:49 into the third period. He also has a goal 6:29 into the first. It's Garrett Pike 2, Greenville Swamp Rabbits 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest sales event. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of all-terrain or all-weather tires. And as always, you'll get America's best tire warranty. With a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Get dependable, all-weather traction with the best service in the business. Get more from Les.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
It's been the Garrett Pike Show for the Grizzlies. Swamp Rapids took a 1-0 lead, 5:18 into the first period as Cam Hausinger got his first of the year. Pike scored 6:29 into the first with Mick Messner gained the assist, and then Garrett Pike fired a shot from the left point that beat Scholl stick side. It was a clean goal that helicoptered past the goal line, 7:49 into the third period. As Garrett Pike has 4 shots, he's a +2, and he has both of the Grizzlies' goals. Draw in the Grizzlies zone is won by Utah as they look to protect the lead and maybe add some insurance. Grizzlies cross center ice, and it's bounced in by Luke Manning. Grizzlies going with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen tonight, and they've kind of switched up the forward lines a little bit this evening. Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 30-20. Hausinger's had an outstanding game for Greenville, the former Indy Fuel skater, as the puck goes into the left corner on a long-range feed from Hausinger. Swamp Rabbits skate back towards the left point. Grizzlies trip him up. Oh, is the call going to be made? As Manning takes control of the puck. Oh, no call was made. Grizzlies get a break. Grizzlies with an on-man break. 3-on-2. Manning left wing. He'll take a lefty shot. Rebound shot. As Manning collides in with Scholl, and the whistle blows. And Cam Hausinger, very upset at the linesman. Hausinger makes contact with the linesman skating in. Boy, I think the Grizzlies caught a break there. It looked like there was a trip over in the left point. Grizzlies came back with an odd man break. Manning had a good look over on the left side. The Grizzlies were patient with their approach on the 3-on-2. Scholl made the save, and you got to hand it to the Greenville goaltender. He's done a good job all night controlling the rebounds. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Grizz. Interestingly enough, Hausinger, and we saw him with a lot of spirit and spunk, to put it nicely, last year when he played with Indy, looked like he crashed and collided with the linesman. It looked like there was a little bit of intent there. As Genev will take the drawings out there with Ness and Ricketts. That's the 3 forwards on the ice. We can't see the defenseman on the overhead shot. It's probably taken from about the center ice scoreboard. Genev off the faceoff, fired towards the net, and it goes wide. Boy, I love Danny Genev's game. He's going to be a good one for the Grizzlies this year. Genev will bounce one in. Swamp Rabbits come up with it. 8:45 on a moving clock. Utah leads 2-1. Can't go fast enough. Swamp Rabbits out to the right side. It bounces off the Saint, and it goes deep into the Grizzlies zone. Running it down is Colby Enns. He gets a good back check from Tim Lavelle, who hits him in the back. Lavelle, a good skater. Ricketts with the puck as he'll race out to center ice. 3-on-3. Ricketts over the offensive line, skates towards a high slot, takes a lefty shot, and it's sticked away, and it goes out of play as Jake Murray was able to get a stick in the way as the puck flies off the protective netting. 8:25 left in the third period. Grizzlies lead 2-1. For Garrett Pike last season, he split time with the Grizzlies in the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Last year, he spent 29 games with Colorado and had 2 assists and 2 penalty minutes. And with the Grizzlies last year, he had 19 games and scored 2 goals and 11 assists. So he matches last season's Grizzlies goal total in just 1 game. As he's picked up both of Utah's goals, they lead 2-1. Grizzlies win the draw. Back to the right side, dancing around. Lefty shot's blocked away. That shot was taken by Shea. As Shea gets belted in the back by Jacob Modry, who goes 6'6" and 216 pounds. Up top, dangling back and forth, is Pike. He's on hat trick watch. He fires it off the end boards as he was looking for a hot pass as he tried to get it to Ty Voigt. Now the Swamp Rabbits lift it, and it goes all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. Pike racing after it, and icing is called as Pike did a great job with great speed getting over to make sure the icing got called. And even 8 minutes are left in the third period. One of the things the Grizzlies have done a great job in is winning their fair share of the 50-50 pucks. They've done a great job along the boards, and they've really done a good job defensively. They've been assignment sound, and really outside of the first period, Greenville has not had many grade A chances on Dryden McKay. There haven't been many times where you're like, oh, great stop by McKay. You know, it's just Grizzlies' defensive unit has done a great job in front of him. Off the draw, Gratton fired towards the net, and it's sticked away. Gratton towards the right corner, going after a loose puck. He gets there about the same time as a Swamp Rabbit. Masha Donato will nudge it ahead along the near wing wall. Swamp Rabbits, rink wide feed connects, tape to the left side. Swamp Rabbits being shadowed by Gansky. Singleton trying to find a cutting Masha Donato. Grizzlies get it, move it ahead. Gratton steps over the offensive line, will dump it into the right corner as Gratton and a Swamp Rabbit collide. Swamp Rabbits will shield Gratton from the puck. Greenville likes those long-range feeds. They get it out to neutral ice in the left wing. Swamp Rabbits over the offensive line. And once again, Greenville's offside. As it might have been Masha Donato over in the right wing, got a little bit too anxious, and it looked like just kind of a stutter step by Hudson Shandor. Shandor was just the difference in the play. But we've seen a high number of offsides on the Greenville side. Shandor will take the face-off against Evan Friesen. Friesen's out there with Jalot, and hiding behind the score bug is Neil Shea. As Skip Carey, the old Braves announcer, would say, a little insurance wouldn't hurt as Utah leads 2-1. Swamp Rabbits reverse the puck back to the right wing as they're in the offensive zone. Dancing to the right side, they try to center it as they look for a cutting Saint. And the Grizzlies moving out to center ice. Friesen throws to the middle of the ice, down with a breakaway. Neil Shea will take a lefty shot, saved by Scholl. As, Neil Shea had a breakaway, and Scholl made a big save. Shea tries to throw it towards the net, taking his Friesen. He'll take a lefty shot, saved by Scholl. Rebound goes to the left corner for Shea. Now the puck's drifted ahead, and Timofeyev gets it. He'll throw it back to the middle of the ice. As Isogai throws to the left wing, his pass towards the middle of the ice is picked off. Grizzlies. Neil Shea to the right side. Dance around right circle. Dangles back and forth. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. Taking the puck is Ricketts. He fires on a tough angle. It misses. As the puck goes back to center ice. Garrett Pike on hat trick watch. He gets the puck. He dangles back and forth in the Grizzlies zone. His outlet pass is picked off. Isogai. Kent is his first name. He'll throw it back up top, but it goes past Murray and now to Neutrice. Murray retrieves the puck at center ice. Skates back to his line. Blue line to blue line pass connects. Isogai over to Polino. Right wing will take a righty shot saved by McKay. Rebound goes to Pike. Pike will move it ahead as a Grizzly goes down, as looked like the linesman tried to jump out of the way, and the Grizzly player collided with the linesman. Greenville with the puck. They're back deep in their own zone. 5:50 on a moving clock, third period. Utah leads 2-1. Polino gets in slowly. The Swamp Rabbits are on side. Polino dances around the left wing just outside the circle. He'll chip it across. Up top to the right point. Swamp Rabbits power. He's had a good game. He'll dump it in deep. Now back to the left side. Lefty shot goes wide. 5:31 on the clock. Third period. Power tried to fire towards the net and is sticked away by Utah. Power gets it back as he'll bounce it to the left wing, but it goes out of the zone. Grizzlies make a line change. They dump it in. No icing. As Scholl with a strong outlet pass. That's picked off by Utah. Now back to center ice. Puck goes back and forth. Voigt will bounce one towards the Swamp Rabbits bench. Getting up with his power, he nudges it ahead. Swamp Rabbits over the offensive line. They stop before they get to the left corner. Greenville skates from left to right here in the period. Now power, right side, lefty shot. It is blocked away by the pad of Dryden McKay. Now the Grizzlies get it out to center ice. Ty Voigt collects the bouncing puck. Corrals it, holds the right side, centers the Shea backhand shot. Glove saved by Scholl. Boy, what a stop as Voigt found a cutting Shea out in front of the net. And Shea's backhand shot was denied by Matthias Scholl. Boy, win or lose, the Greenville goaltenders look strong, but the Grizzlies have a 2-1 lead on two Garrett Pike goals. There's 4:48 left in the third period. Can the Grizzlies hold on and get John Buchanan his first professional win? This is the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Utah's outshot Greenville 34-22. Utah leads 2-1 on two Garrett Pike goals. Back in a minute.
Les Schwab changed the tire game more than 70 years ago. Today, we still believe you should get more from less. Like more hustle, less hassle. More of the best service around, less of the runaround. Because we include America's best tire warranty in every tire we sell. So you get more unbeatable warranty, less charging you extra. It's why we're more than proud to say, you get more from less.
4 minutes and 48 seconds are left in the third period. Utah leads 2-1 on two Garrett Pike goals. He scored 6:29 into the first period, with Mick Messner getting an assist, and then Pike scored 7:49 into the third, and that one was unassisted. Both Garrett Pike and Christian Felton, the top defensive pairing tonight, are at +2, and many other Grizzlies are a +1 tonight. Luke Salem leads Utah with 6 shots on goal. Before the timeout, there was a great play where Voigt found a cutting Shea out in front. Shea's backhand shot was denied by Scholl. The Greenville goaltender has saved 32 of 34. Dryden McKay in his Grizzlies debut has saved 21 of 22. Puck deep in the Greenville zone. 4.5 minutes left in the third period. As Grizzlies have had 4 power plays, Greenville with one. As the Swamp Rabbits deep in their own zone. Tate Singleton's a good skater. He skates down the middle of the ice, gets to Neutrice. He'll drop it off. Swamp Rabbits get it out to the right wing. As locating the puck is a Swamp Rabbit. They get it back towards the right side. It's Ryan O'Reilly, number 19. He's a first-year pro. O'Reilly gets double-teamed by Pike. Taking the puck is Mick Messner. As he's over in the right corner, he gets pushed by Riley. Pike surveys nearby. Mastrodonato joins the scene. as Grizzlies back with it, and they'll bounce it off the glass. It goes over a Greenville head. Oh, did it hit the glass? It goes out of play. Is it delay of game? Swamp Rabbits want to call. There's 3:58 left in the third. It looked like it chipped off the glass. We're not sure, as the action's going to come back into the Grizzlies zone. And no indication that it is delay of game, as both teams will reshuffle the deck and get fresh skaters on the ice. For the Grizzlies, it's a 3-3, as they will head to Gwinnett, Georgia after tonight's game. They will face the Atlanta Gladiators tomorrow night. It will be the Gladiators season opener, and that will be a 5 o'clock start in the Mountain Time Zone, and then Sunday afternoon will be at 1:10. Swamp Rabbits win the draw. Utah leads 2-1. Less than 4 minutes left. Right wing, shot goes wide. That was taken by Iso Guy, the native of Nagano, Japan. Puck towards the far point. Grizzlies skate from right to left here in the period, as Gansky delivers a shove on a Swamp Rabbit. As Friesen gets physical, he dances around. Swamp Rabbits over in the left corner, as they'll get it back towards Gansky in traffic, as Grizzlies will move it out to center ice. As they clear it out, Swamp Rabbits back in control. Tim Lavelle, who is an outstanding skater, he looks like he moves around with ease. He's going to be a good pro, first year as a pro, just a recent addition of the Swamp Rabbits, as Greenville will drive it in deep. As Salem delivers a push. Swamp Rabbits, right side, fired towards the net, and it's blocked by Salem. He'll get it to Friesen at neutral ice. 2-on-2. Salem over the offensive line onside, as he stops and he dumps in deep, as the Grizzlies were at the end of a shift. As the Swamp Rabbits come back the other way at center ice, they cross center. Ness on the back check. Swamp Rabbits, are they offside? Yes, they are again. Another time where the Swamp Rabbits are trying to enter the zone, and it looks like more times than not, they're trying to carry it into the zone. And the timing's just been messed up. You got to credit the Grizzlies for doing a good job of making Greenville, with the puck, kind of change directions. And once again, Greenville's offside, as there's 2:59 left in the third. And if there's any way possible, we'll let you know if the Swamp Rabbits pull the goaltender for the extra attacker. He's still in there. Neutral zone draw, Grizzlies territory. And this time it's won by the Swamp Rabbits, as they'll roll it along the boards. Dancing after it is Felton. Now they fire towards the net. It goes wide as the Swamp Rabbits in the offensive zone. They try to feed it to the middle of the ice. Shot blocked by Felton's stick. Puck towards the left corner. Ricketts gets hit. Chasing after it's Genev. He's got good speed. He gets behind the Greenville defense. Genev skates in, back in, shotting. And it looks like Scholl was able to make the stop as Genev, as he was trying to fire towards the net, lost his balance and fell down. Polino comes back the other way, stops in the right point in the Grizzlies zone. He gets across left side. Lefty shot. That one's blocked away. McKay might have gotten a piece of it, as Grizzlies have outshot the Swamp Rabbits 34-22. Left point, righty shot misses wide. Polino fires towards the net, and that one's kicked away. McKay might have gotten a piece of it. Colby Enns was in the area as well, as Enns delivers a check and divorces Greenville from the puck. Ness gets it ahead. 3-on-2 if the Grizzlies want it. They'll move it towards Genev. Back to Ricketts. His shot saved by Scholl. Ricketts still with it. Ness dancing around. He'll take a left wing righty shot, and that one's blocked away by Scholl. And the puck stays in play. Grizzlies in the offensive zone, so Greenville can't pull the goalie. Utah leads 2-1. Ricketts behind Greenville's net looking for a wraparound, and he's denied by Jordan Power, who's played a good game, as the Swamp Rabbits get it. As Tate Singleton races across center ice. Greenville in a line change. Singleton gets around the Grizzlies defense. A fire lefty shot that missed the net stick side. He didn't miss by much. Greenville, a minute 25 left in the third. Singleton dancing around with ease. Singleton to the right point, gets to the right corner. Now the Swamp Rabbits back towards the left wing. Righty shot, and that one's blocked away. As there's a minute 15 left in the third. I imagine Greenville's pulled its goalie. As Grizzlies trying to hold on. Greenville back up top. Swamp Rabbits, left point, fired to traffic. It's blocked. That was blocked by Gansky, we believe. Now Luke Manny gets it to neutral ice. And the net is empty. Grizzlies get it down the middle of the ice. Righty shot, a score! And this baby's in the refrigerator as Ty Voigt gets his first in a Utah uniform. And the Grizzlies take a 3-1 lead. Boy, Manny got to the middle of the ice on the empty net, and Voigt, about 10 feet in front of the crease, fired it past the goal line. It looks like the Grizzlies are going to get John Buchanan's first pro win. It's Grizzlies 3, Swamp Rabbits 1. Garrett Pike with 2 goals. And Ty Voigt, who had 8 goals with the Cincinnati Cyclones last year. Voigt scores with Luke Manning getting the assist. That was 19:02 into the third period. Swamp Rabbits trail by 2. They cross center ice as DeYoung Fires onto McKay. McKay fires to an empty net, and he misses it. There's actually a goaltender there, so icing on the Grizzlies. I thought when McKay was behind his net, and unfortunately we can't see the whole ice on this remote feed, I thought the net was empty, but there was a Swamp Rabbit goaltender in there. So it's just a basic icing. That's the most excited I've ever been for an icing call in my time with the Grizzlies. Unfortunately, with this remote feed, you can only see so much, and I thought the net was empty, and McKay was going for a goalie go. Grizz outshot the Swamp Rabbits 36-23. Right side shot misses. Timofeyev gets belted by Messner. Now behind the net, Grizzlies chip it back around. We're not sure if Greenville's net is empty. As action over in the right corner, 30 seconds left. There's 6 skaters for Greenville. Their net is empty. 25 seconds. As the puck slides towards the left point, Grizzlies race after it. Now the puck back to the left corner as a push by Avery Winslow. Messner's out there as well. Over in the corner, Colby ends. 13 seconds left, and it looks like John Buchanan will have a successful Grizzlies debut. Grizzlies will pitchfork it out to center ice. The net is empty, and the puck will bounce wide. It's going to be icing on Utah. 3.7 seconds left in the third. John Buchanan took over as Grizzlies head coach, replacing Ryan Kanaswich, who's coaching a team in Austria. And congratulations to John Buchanan, as he's going to pick up his first professional win, and this is debut game. And you got to hand it to the Grizzlies. They kept sticking with it, and they won this game with defense. And that's the way they're going to win a ton of games this season. Puck is dropped. Ends gets it, and he'll sell it out, and that will do it. Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win! Grizzlies win 3-1, and there is no doubt about it. As Garrett Pike scored 2 goals, Ty Voigt added an empty netter. And what a job by the Grizzlies as they come away with the 3-1 victory. Dryden McKay gets the victory in his Grizzlies debut. And what an effort by all 6 defensemen for the Grizzlies. You got to hand it to Garrett Pike with the 2 goals. Christian Felton was a +2 tonight. Luke Salem had 6 shots on goal. Noah Gansky was great away from the puck. Winslow and Enns did an outstanding job. And the Grizzlies with a blue-collar 3-1 victory as they are now 3-0 all-time against the Swamp Rabbits. And what a successful victory. And John Buchanan in his Grizzlies head coaching debut picks up the victory. And for the Grizzlies, their final hunt begins with a successful taking of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Final score, Utah 3, Greenville 1. As the Grizzlies go to 1-0 on the season, Greenville falls to 0-1. Remember, the Grizzlies will be in Gwinnett, Georgia, as they take on the Atlanta Gladiators tomorrow night at Gas South Arena. We'll come back and have the post-game show in 30 seconds, and it's going to be a happy one as the Grizzlies defeat the Swamp Rabbits 3-1. You're listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Mavericks' new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Every new day is a chance to be kinder to your body and your mind. U of U Health is here to help you build strength and confidence every day. Let us help you be a better you. U of U Health, official health partner for the Utah Jazz, Utah Hockey Club, Utes Athletics, and the Utah Grizzlies. Take the first step today at uofuhealth.org.
It looks like this is going to be a fun Grizzlies season as they win 3-1 over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. I'm Tyson Whiting. Greenville scored first, and the Grizzlies responded with 3 unanswered. Swamp Rabbits got on the board 5:18 into the first period as Cam Hausinger got his first of the year. Power and Peterson with the assists. Grizzlies responded with a couple of hardworking shifts that led to Garrett Pike getting the puck in the left point, fired into traffic, and somehow it was able to helicopter its way past the goal line. Pike with his first of 2 goals on the game. McMessner picked up an assist, and that tied it up at 1, 6:29 into the first period. Neither team scored for quite a while after that. Grizzlies had a ton of chances later in the first period. Utah outshot the Swamp Rabbits 12-10 in the first period, and the Grizzlies had a 15-5 edge in the shot count in the second period. But the puck ended up back in the left point, and Garrett Pike just beat Scholl stick side. You talk about the game that Matthias Scholl had, and he's a tough luck loser, saving 34 of 36. The Swamp Rabbits goaltender made a few outstanding saves to keep him in the game, but Pike gets what turned out to be the game winner, 7:49 into the third period. Pike had 2 goals in 19 games with Utah last season, and he matches that total in the regular season opener here as he begins his second professional campaign. And then the Grizzlies did a good job kind of winning those 50-50 pucks along the boards. Grizzlies were able to clear the zone. Neil Shea got it to Manning. Manning on a 2-on-1 just bounced one to the middle of the ice. Ty Voigt got it on an empty net. Got about 10 feet in front of the crease, and he fired away as Voigt got his first in a Utah uniform. He had 8 goals last season with Cincinnati. Manning and Neil Shea each picked up the assists, and Manning just picks up right where he left off. Remember, he was outstanding in the final month of the regular season last year, and Manning with an assist tonight. Neil Shea with an assist, and Shea scored in the majority of the 36 games that he played in last year. And the Grizzlies get a hard-fought, blue-collar 3-1 victory over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Greenville did have an 11-10 edge in the shot count in the third period, but the Grizzlies led the shot battle 37-26. Neither team scored on the power play. Utah was 0 for 4 on the man advantage. Greenville was 0 for 1. So neither way, the special teams didn't play a factor. But we talked about the Grizzlies' new defensive unit, and we made sure to mention all 6 guys individually after the final buzzer because that was a big part of the win. And you think about Dryden McKay gets a victory in his Grizzlies debut. He saved 25 of 26, but he didn't have to see a whole lot of grade A chances in the final 2 periods because of that 6-man defensive unit. And you really got to hand it to the Grizzlies forwards as well, chipping in on the defensive side of things. I know in training camp, they worked really hard on defensive assignments, on winning those battles along the boards, those kinds of little things. Griffin Ness talked on Content Day a few days ago about the Grizzlies being a tough team to play against. And if the Grizzlies put together that similar effort that they brought tonight in Greenville, if they play like that the majority of the games this season, boy, the Grizzlies are going to be a tough team to beat. And they're going to be a ton of fun to watch along the way. So it was a blue-collar 3-1 victory. Remember last year, Grizzlies only had, I think, 2 wins all season when they scored less than 4 goals. I mean, when they scored 4 or more, they were almost automatic. But the Grizzlies last year had a tough time winning those 3-1, 2-1, 3-1 kind of games. And this is the type of victory that you see come March and April. This is the type of win you see. I know we got 71 games left. This is the kind of win that you see playoff teams get. Greenville, obviously, in their season opener, their home opener, you knew they were going to come out firing. And the Grizzlies did it with a great defensive effort, and Dryden McKay was outstanding in net, kind of reminiscent of his college days. Statistically, he is a college legend. He is the winningest goaltender in NCAA history, has the most shutouts in NCAA history, and he only gave up 1 tonight, and there was a little bit of controversy as if it was Hausinger's goal after all. You could argue that maybe it was played with the high stick. Grizzlies had 17 skaters tonight as opposed to the 18 for Greenville, but the Grizzlies come away with the win. Now, we were talking about Pike. He must have been out there for the empty net goal. He was on the ice even though he didn't contribute to the scoring. So Pike ended up as a +3 this evening. Christian Felton, his line mate, was a +2. A lot of forwards were a +1 tonight. Gratton, Ness, Ty Voigt, Ricketts, Genev. How about Danny Genev? You talk about a guy that's lightning on skates. He can move and stop on a dime and get back moving just like that. He's going to be a fun player to watch for the Grizzlies this season. I was really surprised that Idaho had traded him, and not only traded him, but traded him to a division rival because he was amazing for the Steelheads in the preseason last week. And Danny Genev did a great job once again tonight. Shea and Gansky, Lepster reach a +1, Luke Manning a +1 as well. It wasn't, if you love those 5-4 type of games, those high scoring affairs, maybe this wasn't the game for you, but the Grizzlies really got it done with a blue collar effort. And even though they're not one of the bigger teams in the league, as I mentioned before, if the Grizzlies play like that for the majority of games, they're going to be a tough team to beat. The Grizzlies will continue their road trip tomorrow night as they take on the Atlanta Gladiators. It'll be the Gladiators season opener. And Atlanta probably a little bit happy to see Greenville go down, as obviously Greenville and Orlando are rivals. Let's see if we can find the 3 stars of the game, and they have been listed. Third star is the Greenville goaltender, Matthias Scholl, And yeah, Scholl played a pretty strong game. I think with his effort, if he does that more times than not, it would be a Swamp Rabbits victory. He saved 34 of 36. He made an amazing save on a Shea backhand shot. Shea put together an outstanding move, and somehow Scholl denied him. The Greenville goaltender kept him in it throughout, and he is the third star of the game. Second star, he gets a little bit of revenge. He played with Greenville last season, 35 games. He had a 12, 17, and 5 record. Dryden McKay, who gets a victory in his Grizzlies debut. He saved 25 of 26, and he has to be happy for John Buchanan. After all, it was about a decade ago when Dryden McKay was playing in juniors and John Buchanan was coaching in juniors that Dryden McKay was on Buchanan's team. And so everybody in the Grizzlies locker room is happy for John Buchanan getting the victory in his Grizzlies and professional head coaching debut, and Dryden McKay's probably happier than anybody else. He saved 25 of 26 as he picks up the victory for Utah. And the number one star, it's Garrett Pike, no doubt about it. He had 2 goals. He was a +3. He had 4 shots and seemed like he made an impact in just about every shift of tonight's game. And so Garrett Pike is the number one star of tonight's contest. So for the Grizzlies, they're hoping to find a way to, they're going to get on a bus. It's only a couple hours from Greenville to Gwinnett, Georgia. And so they should be a little bit well rested for tomorrow's game. Obviously, Sunday is going to be a difficult one with the 3-3. But the Grizzlies do get off on a winning note, and they did so without scoring 4 or more goals. As we mentioned, that was a tough task for them last season, but they came strong here this evening, and they found a way to pick up a 3-1 victory over the Swamp Rabbits. We're going to check, to see if we can find that total. When the Grizzlies scored 4 or more last year, they went 21-2-2. And that means a record when scoring less than 4, wasn't all that good. But the Grizzlies, they only had 2 victories all season when scoring less than 4. They got 3 tonight, and it certainly was enough. And so hopefully the Grizzlies, that obviously if the Grizzlies want to have a better record than last year, they're going to have to do 2 things. One, they're going to have to improve the penalty kill, and they're going to have to find a way to win those 3-2 type of games when the opposing goaltender is standing on his head. And the Grizzlies did just that. They did so with a great defensive effort, not only with the puck, but without the puck. And as Griffin Ness talked to me a couple days ago, he said that they wanted to be a tough team to play against, and they certainly looked like that here this evening. It's a new Grizzlies identity, and they have to like what they've seen so far. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. This was a remote broadcast, unfortunately. Saturday and Sunday's games will be the same, and it's a little bit difficult because there are times when the puck's off the screen. Unfortunately, between whistles, we don't get to see who's coming on, who's coming off. Any long-range pass, you kind of hope you don't really see who's on that other end. And I got way too excited about Dryden McKay, as I thought the net was still empty for Greenville, and I thought we might have had a potential goalie goal. But then again, when we were sitting here on the screen, you couldn't tell if there was a goalie or not. And as that puck sailed into the Greenville zone, saw a goalie there, and I just got way too excited over an icing call. Is basically what it was. But nevertheless, there are some challenges that we have to face, and unfortunately, other teams don't have to face, and other broadcasters. But we try to find a way to have some fun and make some memories along the way. And after all, that's a big part of what this season is all about, with this being the Utah Grizzlies final hunt. Well, we'll make some more memories tomorrow as the Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators. The Grizzlies will face Greenville 3 more times in the regular season. That's going to be on January 28th, 30th, and 31st. All 3 games will be at Maverick Center. So I guess all time at Bond Secures Wellness Arena, Grizzlies are 3-0, unless both teams will meet in the West in the finals. With Greenville being in the Eastern Conference, it would have to be in the Kelly Cup Finals, but nevertheless, Grizzlies 3-0 over in Greenville's barn, all time. Can never take that away. I mean, 10 years from now, I'll probably be on vacation to Greenville, South Carolina, and I'll drive to Bond Secures Wellness Arena, and I'm going to be like, Grizzlies went 3-0 in that building. That's going to be the fact of life, and you can't take that away from us. 3-0 all time, the Grizzlies are at Bond Secures Wellness Arena. Well, that'll just about wrap things up. Grizzlies defeat Greenville 3-1 with Garrett Pike scoring 2 goals. Ty Voigt, his Grizzlies debut, also found the back of the net, and Dryden McKay saved 25 of 26. Next broadcast of Utah Grizzlies hockey will be tomorrow night. 4:45 pregame show, 5:10 face-off as the Grizzlies take on the Atlanta Gladiators in the first of a 2-game weekend series. Time of game was 2 hours and 23 minutes, and in front of a good crowd of 7,295, it's the Grizzlies getting a 3-1 victory over the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. I'm Tyson Whiting, and I'm just pursuing my dream. Hopefully someday I'll find a way to get to the National Hockey League. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network. Good night, everybody.